Welcome to the Northwest Sports Fanatics YouTube channel. I am your host, Orion, and today is a special day that we cherish every single time of this year. It is MLB opening night. We got the Cleveland Guardians versus the Seattle Mariners, and I won't lie, I got a little bit teared up, seeing the cancer survivor make his way around the bases. I had to kind of compose myself before I started the stream. Had a little tear in my eye there. And again, I don't think I've ever seen a child, run the bags with such difficulty. And obviously being able to survive cancer. Shout out to Brody. That might have been the most emotional running the bags that I've ever seen. And again, if if we don't have any motivation, going in to get a dub on the first day, that definitely will bring a tear to your eye if you ended up watching that. I am so excited to be able to represent, all the Seattle Mariner fans across the globe. We came up a little bit short last season, but it definitely feels like a little bit of a special year, so to speak. This is the 50th anniversary to the Seattle Mariners, and we know what happened in the 50th anniversary last year to the Seattle Seahawks. They brought it home. And again, they started in 1976. The Mariners started in 1977. This is the 50th year anniversary. Let's do it just like the Seahawks, and let's represent this entire season for Rick Riz. We know that this is his last season on the radio, and not only being one of the best on radio, but being one of the best all time to be able to cover a game. So this entire season here on the channel and everything, throughout everything that we do, will be dedicated to Rick Riz. Let's bring it home for Rick. I'm so excited to be able to represent the Seattle Mariners here on YouTube, and for all of y'all, it's going to be a fantastic year. And again, let's cue up the music. Let's take a look at the thumb, and let's get into these starting lineups. Today is MLB opening night, the Cleveland Guardians versus the Seattle Mariners, and I feel it's going to be a very special one at that. On the thumb, on the left, one of the best third basemen in the game, Jose Ramirez. And on the right, the best catcher in the game with the best nickname, it's the Big Dumper, Cal Raleigh. Now let's get into the starting lineups here first for the Cleveland Guardians. Leading off for the Guardians in left field, it is Steven Kwan. Batting second, playing right field, Chase DeLauder. Batting third, playing third base, Jose Ramirez. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, DHing today for the Guardians, Kyle Manzardo. Batting fifth, catching today for the Cleveland Guardians, Bo Naylor. Batting sixth, playing first base, Rhys Hoskins. Batting seventh, playing center field, Daniel Schneemann. Batting eighth, playing shortstop, Gabriel Arias. And batting ninth, playing second base, Brian Rocchio. And on the mound for Cleveland, Tanner Bybee. And now let's get into the starting lineup for your Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners at third base, a new addition from the St. Louis Cardinals. Welcome to Seattle, Brendan Donovan. Batting second, catching today for Seattle, Big Dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting third, playing center field, it's J-Rod Julio Rodriguez. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, first baseman, Josh Naylor. Batting fifth, playing left field, Randy Arozarena. Batting sixth, playing right field, Luke Raley. Batting seventh, DHing for Seattle, it is the Italian stallion, Dominic Canzone. Batting 8th, playing second base, Cole Young. And batting 9th, playing shortstop, Leo Rivas. And on the mound for the Seattle Mariners, one of our aces, it is Logan Gilbert. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, I was wiping tears from my eye, watching Brody go around those bases the best that he could, but the entire season on the channel. And for every Seattle Mariner fan, this is what it's about. It's about Rick Rizzs retiring this season. 50-year anniversary. I can't think of a better opportunity for the Seattle Mariners to make it to the World Series, play the Los Angeles Dodgers, David and Goliath, and beat them, and go to our very first World Series ever in our team history. And not only that, to win it all for Rick Rizzs. We're going to be shooting for 100 likes, 100 on that dono train, and 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Let's get caught up with the chat. As anyone knows, I've been very busy on the channel, even in the off season doing NFL, college football. We did some NBA, WBC, spring training games for the Mariners, and the day is finally here. It's MLB season opener between the Guardians and the Mariners, the last game on the slate tonight, and can't wait to be able to see who's in the room, and can't wait to be able to meet some newbies on the channel as well. If you're just tuning in, this is the Northwest Sports Fanatics YouTube channel. I am your host, Orion, and we are going to have a fantastic year this year. Larry in the building, what's good? Tyler in the building, what's good? He says, I hope Cal hits a homer or two. Yeah, and again, it was a little questionable not having Cal late in the WBC, but again, hopefully we'll be able to come out strong here tonight. Hawks 420 in the building, what's good? Reflect starting us off with the $20 holla. Man, I had tears coming down, and it was like right before I was about to start the stream. And so Brody and the family, I don't think I've ever seen such an emotional running the bags to start the season. And again, if that doesn't bring a tear to your eye, to bring some extra motivation to kick the Guardians' ass here tonight, I don't know what will. Stacks, racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. We're at 20. 80 to go to hit our first goal. Appreciate you, Reflect, one of the OGs on the channel. Thank you so much. Trident's up, way, way up. You know it, baby. Let's go. Daniel in the building, what's good? Zach in the building, what's good? Mike in the building, what's good? It's been a minute. Great to be able to see you guys. AM in the building, what's good? Bricks and Joysticks in the building, what's good? TJ in the building, what's good? Let's get it, baby. And again, for all of the regulars and the mods, let's work together and see if we can end up getting some good support with the likes and the subs and the views and the donos and the shares. It's always going to be a team effort. Let's do it for Rick Rizzs. Let's do it for the Seattle Mariners. And again, I can't wait to be able to see what is going to be in the 2026 season for the Seattle Mariners. It's the first time that we've been ranked in the power rankings coming into the season, top 3. So obviously we know the Blue Jays will be good. The Tigers are going to be good. The Yankees are going to be good. We saw them absolutely demolish the Giants last night on the stream. But again, I do think that we will be one of those, top 3, top 4 teams in the American League. Hopefully we will be the best team in the American League. And again, we are one of the best teams overall. We know how great the Dodgers are over there in the National League. And I know, some people, would like to play another team if we were to make the World Series, but not me. I want to be able to have the hardest path for Rick Rizzs, and it'll be that much sweeter if we can end up beating a team like that that's trying to go back to back to back with Shohei Ohtani and company. Let's go, baby. I'm excited. It's been a long time coming. I've been waiting, obviously since World Series Game 7 with the Blue Jays and the Dodgers. And we've been able to do some spring training baseball. We've been able to do the WBC, which we ended up having a great run with that. Shout out to Venezuela for obviously edging out Team USA. But it shows you, if you don't have your best players playing and a guy like Skubal, who's elite, ends up walking away and going back to the Tigers to go to his regular rotation, that's what we needed in that championship game. And again, maybe in the future, things will be a little bit better. And again, Hal should have probably played, in that last game, but that's neither here nor there. This is the Seattle Mariners MLB season opener. Logan Gilbert on the mound. I can't wait. Jerry in the building. What's good? Let's get it. And this is who we are going to dedicate the season to. 50th year anniversary. The Seahawks ended up winning the Super Bowl in their 50th anniversary last season. This is our 50th anniversary. Let's do it for Rick Riz. We got Logan Gilbert on the mound and Stephen Kwan approaching the box. On deck, right fielder, the two-hole hitter, Chase DeLauder, and batting third baseman, Jose Ramirez. And again, the Mariners have posted, some information, on how to be able to watch, through your cable provider. If you have Xfinity or one of the other providers in your area, you can also obviously sign up, through Mariners TV. If you do it on the MLB app, they're giving you a week for free. And it's like a trial period. And then they'll charge you $20 a month unless you want to pay the $99.99 for the season. And again, after a few weeks, they are going to be able to have the cable providers linked to whatever device that you want, so you don't necessarily have to pay the $20 a month or the $99.99 once the cable providers are linked with the tab to click to be able to type in your information to sync up your Xfinity account to maybe your phone or your computer or your tablet, but they haven't got it up and running yet. Obviously, we know it's all about the money and whatnot, but again, I will be here for anyone that doesn't have access. We're going to have a fantastic season. I'm going to be very descriptive. We're going to give you a bunch of HD 4K photos, and we're definitely going to give you a broadcast that's completely different than anything else on YouTube for MLB, baseball, and beyond. Let's go, baby. All right, let me get everything situated here.
Are you Marsha?
I am. I am.
Thanks for meeting me here.
'50th anniversary. Seahawks ended up going all the way last season. Why not the Mariners? Let's keep it obviously in the Pacific Northwest. I can't wait. Logan Gilbert on the mound, Stephen Kwan in the box. And here we go. First pitch in the Seattle Mariner 2026 season, right down the middle. Four-seam fastball by Logan Gilbert, a.k.a. Walter, 95 miles an hour, 0-1 count. And I encourage anybody that has the MLB app to sign up for the free trial, even if you don't feel that you're going to do the $20 a month. 0-1 pitch, fouled off, out of play. Four-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour, 0-2 count. It gives you an opportunity to watch for a week for free. And again, if you are looking for access, that's one way you can do it. Stephen Kwan in the box, Logan Gilbert on the mound. 0-2 pitch. Popped up. Should be a routine play here in shallow left field. Brandon Donovan is there in foul territory, and that is one away. Down goes Stephen Kwan. Next up for the Guardians in right field, two-hole hitter Chase DeLauder. On deck will be Jose Ramirez. On the mound, our ace, Logan Gilbert. DJ with a fiver. Let's go, baby. First pitch to Chase DeLauder, high and away with a cutter, 91 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Sonics are confirmed. So it'll be Seattle with the Supersonics coming back, and then Las Vegas will get a team. But obviously they're going to have to go through the ownership process and whatnot. So we'll see how that all plays out. 1-0 pitch, big swing and a miss by DeLauder. Slider low and away, 86 miles an hour there by Logan Gilbert. 1 ball and 1 strike to Chase DeLauder. 1-1 pitch from Gilbert. Inside with a cutter, 91 miles an hour. 2 balls and 1 strike with nobody on and 1 out. 0-0 here early between the Guardians and the Mariners and the MLB season opener for the Seattle Mariners. 2-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, four-seam fastball, 95-mile-an-hour, high heat on the corner by Logan Gilbert. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Chase DeLauder. Let's do it for Riz, baby. Let's do it for Dave Niehaus. Let's do it for Rick Riz. And again, you know, we're slowly but surely going in the right direction. 2-2 pitch, high and away. Slider 87 miles an hour, just missing the corner of the strike zone. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Gilbert on the mound, DeLauder in the box. 3-2 pitch, crushed into right field. Back. And that is gone. Unbelievable. Chase DeLauder. You had Luke Raleigh jump up and try, but it just went over the glove, and that's not what we want to see as Seattle fans. Chase DeLauder with a solo dinger, bringing the electricity early. That better be the only homer Logan gives up. I see you, Chase, but that's not what we like. Next up, in the 3-hole, third baseman, Jose Ramirez. 358 feet into right center. And again, if you're going to leave a pitch right down the middle, there's a number of these hitters that can do damage. Not ideal, but we will be able to recover. 1-0 Cleveland. First pitch to Ramirez, right down the middle with a four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Kind of makes you wonder if we had Victor Robles out there, if he might have been able to have a better chance at it. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss, low and away. Slider 87 miles an hour there by Logan Gilbert. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Chase DeLauder with a solo dinger moments ago, giving the Guardians a early 1-0 lead. And it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a war. It's not going to be easy. You know, this Cleveland team could possibly be a playoff team this year. 0-2 pitch, popped up and out of play. Splitter, 81 miles an hour, low and away by Logan Gilbert. No balls and 2 strikes to Jose Ramirez. Let's do it, baby. Appreciate you. Stacks, racks with a little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. We're at 25, 75 to go on the Dono train. Oh-2 pitch, high and away. Cutter, 92 miles an hour, missing by an inch. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jose Ramirez. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and down Ramirez goes. And that's the first punch out there from Logan Gilbert. And again, when you give up a home run, sometimes things start going downhill real quick. So for him to be able to get a punch out on a player like Jose after giving up the home run to DeLauder, nice job with the electricity. Settle in, settle down, and let's get the job done. Next up for Logan Gilbert will be cleanup hitter, DHing Kyle Manzardo. First pitch to Manzardo, high and away, four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour by Gilbert, 1-0 count. Top of the first inning, 1-0 Guardians with a solo dinger by DeLauder in right field over Luke Raley's glove, 1-0 Cleveland. 1-0 pitch from Gilbert, tries to jam him, and he fouls it off, out of play. Cutter, 91 miles an hour there by Logan Gilbert, a.k.a. Walter. 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and 2 outs. Vapor in the building. What's good? And again, we obviously are still going to be trying to get towards that goal. Obviously, my pup has a once-a-year veterinary appointment. We have about a third of the donos to get to that point. We're still about 300 away. So anything that can be done on the Cash App or the Venmo would be great. And if you don't have access to those, obviously the Super Chat definitely would be greatly appreciated. Takes a strike looking high and away. Four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour by Gilbert. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 out. 1-2 pitch. Crushes it into deep right field. Fading foul. Thank God. The last thing that we need is to give up 2 solo dingers in the first. And I was kind of, leaning more towards like Brian Wu, being the starter if he was healthy. Now, we don't really know, if there was any kind of issues. They're going to go Gilbert, Kirby, and then Wu, obviously in the rotation. And hopefully we'll be able to get the dub here with Gilbert, even though looking a little shaky here early. 1-2 pitch. Cutter, 92 miles an hour, crushed, out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Manzardo. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. 1-2 pitch to Manzardo. Crushes it behind the plate. Going back to those T-Mobile bricks. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Come on, Seattle. You know what it's about. It's about this man right here. Do it for Rick. Let's do it for Rez. 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Gal will throw to first, and that will be out number 3. Chase DeLauder giving Cleveland an early 1-0 lead. Let's see who's up next here for the Mariners and see if we can tie the game up here early or take the lead. Leading off for the Mariners at third base, coming over from the St. Louis Cardinals. Won the Rookie of the Year the same year in 2022 as Julio Rodriguez in the National League. Was an all-star last year for St. Louis. It is Brendan Donovan. Could be our best leadoff hitter since Ichiro Suzuki. Can't wait to see what he does here tonight. Batting second, the big dumper, the best catcher in the game, Cal Raleigh. And batting third, the best center fielder in the game, it's J-Rod Julio Rodriguez. On the mound for the Guardians, Tanner Bybee. Miguel in the building. What's good? I am watching it on the MLB Mariners TV, through the MLB app. So again, you can pay $99.99 for the whole season. You can end up paying $19.99 a month. And if you choose the cheaper option, they give you a 7-day trial for free. So all you got to do is download the MLB app, and then obviously click on the game and then go to the section where it'll allow you to choose what plan you want to do. And then they'll do a free 7-week trial, and then they'll charge $20 a month. And that's what I'll be watching it on until the Xfinity account will be able to be linked. And then at that point, I may not have to pay anything. But that part isn't up and running yet, but it will be in the next few weeks. First pitch to Brendan Donovan is a ball, high and inside, 95 miles an hour, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch by Tanner Bybee, inside for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to Brendan Donovan. Tanner Bybee on the mound, Brendan Donovan in the box. 1-1 pitch, inside. 2 balls and 1 strike to Brendan Donovan. Change up 82 miles an hour there by Tanner Bybee. Bottom of the first inning, 1-0 Guardians. 2-1 pitch, high and away. 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour there by Bybee. 3 balls and 1 strike to Brendan Donovan. Brendan Donovan is very patient in the box, and we're going to need that. We haven't really had a good leadoff hitter in a minute. No disrespect to D. Gordon or J.P. Crawford. Oh, baby! Crushes it. Deep right field. Back. See ya! Let's go. Welcome to Seattle, Brendan Donovan. Hey, whatever you think you can do, we can do better, DeLauder. 1-1 Seattle. And that's how you make an introduction to the Seattle Mariners, baby. Let's go. Let's go. And I had a feeling that he was going to get a few base knocks here tonight. But again, Brendan Donovan bringing the electricity just like that. 1-1 Seattle. Next up, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Unbelievable start. Cal, back. Fading out of play. Oh my, can you imagine if Cal would have went yard right there? Oh goodness. Unbelievable. Let's go. Bottom of the first inning, 1-1, Guardians and Mariners. And the crowd is feeling it. 0-1 pitch from Bybee to Cal, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. They got the MVP chants going there in the building at T-Mobile. 1-1 pitch, high and inside, tries to jam the big dumper. 2 balls and 1 strike from Bybee to Raleigh. Nice job by Donnie, man. 2-1 pitch. Check swing. Did he go? And they say he does go around. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Bybee to big dumper. Donnie Barrels getting it done. Vapor with a tenner. Appreciate you. Every dollar counts. And we're still a little ways away from the vet visit, but anything that we can get will be greatly appreciated. 2-2 pitch. Low and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Bybee to Raleigh. Cutter 86 miles an hour, just in the zone. You know, they could obviously have an ABS on that. 3-2 pitch. Check swing inside. Does he go? And he does not. And big dumper goes to first with a walk. Nice job by Brendan Donovan with the 3-1 count and the solo dinger. Cal Raleigh with the walk. Next up, it's the best center fielder in the game, Julio Rodriguez. And we're looking for a fast start for Julio for the first time in his career. First pitch to Julio. Big swing and a miss. He might have gotten a little piece of that. 0-1 count. Bottom of the first inning. We're tied up here early with solo dingers by DeLauder and Donovan. And again, we're looking to be able to, see if we can end up putting up a 2-piece or maybe a little bit more. It's 1-1 with a runner at first, Cal Raleigh with a walk and no outs. Sarah in the building. What's good? Let's go, J-Rod. Let's go, Julio. Oh, 1 pitch from Bybee. Check swing, low and away. Did he go? And he does not. Cutter, 87 miles an hour by Tanner Bybee. 1 ball and 1 strike with a runner at first and no outs. We're knotted up at 1 here in the bottom of the first inning. Bash with the tenner. Appreciate you. Throw to first, and Cal is safe. And I honestly feel that Donovan's going to be the best leadoff hitter we've had since Ichiro. JP and Randy and Victor. Victor might have been the best one before he got hurt, but he's not going to be like Brendan Donovan. He's going to be a guy that can hit home runs like we've seen here tonight as Julio fouls that one off. He's patient in the box, so he can take walks if needed, and he can get singles, doubles, and triples, and he's a great defender. It's really everything that we needed as a leadoff hitter and more. And I think we are really going to take advantage of that with the hitters behind him, Cal, Julio, Naylor, Randy. It's really going to help them this year. 1-2 pitch, inside. And that's a sinker, 94 miles an hour there by Tanner Bybee. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Two pitch from Bybee. Check swing. Did he go? And he does go around, and that is 1 away. Come on, Julio. Nice job there by Tanner Bybee. Next up, the most important signing in the offseason besides Brendan Donovan, first baseman Josh Naylor. Let's go, Nails. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. DeLauder with a solo dinger, Brendan Donovan with a solo dinger, and that's where we sit. First pitch to Josh Naylor, high and away, 1-0 count. That cutter was 86 miles an hour there by Tanner Bybee. Throw to first. Try to keep Cal honest. The boos come out. 17 pitches in here for Bybee early. 360 average, 5 homers, 22 ribbies in T-Mobile. 4 nailer last season and a number of stolen bags as well. For a man that big, it's amazing. 1-0 pitch, high and inside. 2 balls and no strikes from Bybee to Naylor. Let him know, Jerry. Has to be a team effort. You know, we should easily be able to get to 100 pretty quick, and then after we get to 100, then we'll try to go to 2. 2-0 pitch. Low and at the knees. Count now is 3 balls and no strikes from Bybee to Naylor. Cutter 87 miles an hour there by Bybee. Going cutter, 4-seam fastball, and cutter in the first 3 pitches with a 3-0 count to Josh Naylor. Let him know. Just takes 1 second. And then when we get more, obviously, individuals to obviously help us with that, that'll lead to more shares, more views, potentially more subs and donos. And then obviously we'll hit the algorithm and get a few more people in here that are looking for Seattle Mariner action or Cleveland Guardian action for that matter. Little dribbler up the middle, potential double play, throw to first. And that is it for Seattle in the bottom of the first inning, but not after Brendan Donovan makes his welcome to Seattle with a solo dinger, and we're knotted up at 1. I don't think you could have asked for a better start besides maybe DeLauder not hitting a home run and Donovan hitting one, and we're up 1-0. But I already knew that this was going to be a war and it was going to be a battle. But Brendan Donovan showing Brandon Donovan things, and we love that. Let's go to the top of the second inning and see who's up next here for the Cleveland Guardians. Next up for the Guardians in the 5-hole, catcher Bo Naylor. Batting second in the 6-hole, first baseman Reese Hoskins. And batting third, center fielder in the 7-hole, Daniel Schneemann. And on the mound for the Mariners, our ace, Walter, a.k.a. Logan Gilbert. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. Shout out to Reflect, DJ, my boy Vapor, and my boy Bash. Appreciate you, the 4 of you so far. And that puts us at 20, 30, 40. We're at 45, 55 to go for our first goal. You and me both. Let's go, baby. Let's win it for Riz. First pitch from Gilbert to Naylor, pops it up and goes behind the plate, foul. Cutter 91 miles an hour there by Logan Gilbert, 0-1 count. Judah in the building, what's good? Oh, 0-1 pitch for Gilbert. Low and away, but hits the strike zone right on the corner. Slider 85 miles an hour. Pretty pitch there by Logan. No balls and 2 strikes to Bo Naylor. 0-2 pitch. Low and into the dirt. Good save there by Cal. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Bo Naylor. Talon with a tenor. Appreciate that. 1-2 pitch. High and away. Splitter. Let's see if it was a splitter. I believe it was a splitter. Let's see. Not four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Bo Naylor. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 2-2 pitch, fouls it behind the plate, hitting that Miller light sign. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Bo Naylor. Shout out to Talon, appreciate you. Stacks, Racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. We're at another tenner for Donnie's solo dinger. Appreciate you. Two-two pitch for Gilbert. Check swing. Did he go? And they say he did not. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Top of the second inning, we're knotted up at 1 with a DeLauder solo dinger by the Guardians. And the top of the first and the bottom of the first, Brendan Donovan on a 3-1 count goes yard, and we're knotted up at 1. 3-2 pitch, and that is strike 3. Let's go. Great job there by Logan Gilbert, bringing some electricity, and another punch out by Walter. Let's go. That puts Logan Gilbert at his 2nd or 3rd K. I believe that was number 3. 1 K for Bybee, 3 for Logan Gilbert. Let's go. Next up for Logan Gilbert, first baseman in the 6 hole, Rhys Hoskins. First pitch, big swing and a miss with that 4-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour by Logan Gilbert, 0-1 count. Gilbert on the mound, Rhys Hoskins in the box. Oh, 1 pitch by Gilbert in the zone. That was pretty. Hoskins taking a strike. No balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Hoskins. 237 average, 12 home runs, and 43 ribbies for Hoskins last season. That curveball was pretty, 80 miles an hour. 0-2 pitch, popped up and out of play. No balls and 2 strikes to Rhys Hoskins. Top of the second inning, we're knotted up at 1 with nobody on and 1 out. Oh, 2 pitch from Gilbert. Hard hit ball into left field. It's fair. Run, Randy, you lazy ass. Run. And an easy double there. And I guess Randy's ways have not changed. You know, jogging to the ball, a light throw to the infield. When will it ever change? And the answer is never, unless he ends up going to another team. You know, that's really the only gripe, you know, that I'm going to have. And we obviously talked about it at numerous length, you know, by Randy jogging always. I mean, if it's a pop-up, we're good to go. But if it's a ground ball, we're screwed. And sometimes doubles will turn into triples. And again, Randy doing Randy things. Nice double there by Hoskins. Next up is Daniel Schneemann. First pitch from Gilbert to Schneemann. Big swing and a miss. 0-1 count. Slider 86 miles an hour by Logan Gilbert. Oh, 1 pitch. Big swing and a miss by Daniel Schneemann. No balls and 2 strikes with a runner at 2nd and 1 out. Gilbert on the mound. Daniel Schneemann in the box. Cool photo. You don't see too many defensive photos that look like that. 0-2 pitch from Gilbert. Low and at the knees. Nice cradling job there by Cal as it goes into the dirt. Splitter missing 79 miles an hour, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at 2nd and 1 out. We're knotted up at 1 here in the top of the 2nd. DeLauder with a solo dinger for the Guardians and Donovan with a solo dinger for Seattle. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and down he goes in another punch out for Logan Gilbert. Let's go. Way to bring that electricity, Logan Gilbert, and that is K number 4. Schneemann striking out, swinging. Next up for the Guardians in the 8-hole shortstop, Gabriel Arias. First pitch, a little check swing, 0-1 count. Arias in the box, Logan Gilbert on the mound. No, Bryce Miller is injured, Miles Mastroboni is injured, and JP Crawford is injured. So those would be the three players that normally you would see, in the lineup, respectively. The only one that would really have been starting would have been JP, and then obviously Bryce when his time was due. But Emerson Hancock will pitch for him for about a month, and JP will be gone for about a couple weeks, and they're keeping their eye on Mastroboni as well. And Mastroboni obviously would be a backup. Gilbert takes a nice pitch right down the middle. Four-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour, 0-2 count. 0-2 pitch. Outside. Four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour by Gilbert. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at second and 2 outs. Let's go, Logan. Finish. 1-2 pitch and steps off the mound. Top of the second inning. We're knotted up at 1 early. 4 Ks for Logan, which is obviously great after giving up a solo dinger to DeLauder in the top of the first. 1-2 pitch. High and inside. Doesn't get the call there. Right on the corner. Four-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour by Logan Gilbert. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at second and 2 outs. Gilbert on the mound. Arias in the box. Two pitch and a little dribbler. Throw to first. Off the bounce, and that is out number 3. There we go, baby. Hoskins left stranded. Let's go to the bottom of the second inning and see who's up next for Seattle. Next up for the Mariners in the 5-hole, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Just show me a little bit of hustle in left field on ground balls. And then once you hustle to the ball, why don't you throw it with some purpose instead of lobs and jogging every single ground ball? Come on, Randy, we need you. Batting second in the 6-hole, right fielder Luke Raleigh. And batting third in the 7-hole, our DH, the Italian Stallion, Dominic Canzone. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. Bash with another 20. Appreciate you. Every dollar counts. Stacks, racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Appreciate you. Another $20 holla on the dono train. All right, so pitch count. Let's go over the stats just real quick. I mean, obviously, we don't have too much time in between, but so for Logan Gilbert, 2 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, 4 Ks, 41 pitches, 30 strikes. And then for Tanner Bybee, obviously 1 inning pitch, 1 hit, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 1 K, 20 pitches, 8 strikes, ERA of 9. Randy Arozarena in the box. First pitch to Randy, takes a strike, low and away, 0-1 count. Flying Monkey with a 5er. What's good, brother? So we all started off with a Chase DeLauder solo dinger, and on a 3-1 count, a Brandon Donovan solo dinger, and that's where we sit, 1-1 here early. Big swing and a miss there by Randy. 1 ball. Let's say no balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Appreciate you, my guy. Oh-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss, and down goes Randy. I wish I can say I'm surprised, but after the lack of defensive hustle for him to strike out on 3 pitches, it's kind of what I thought would happen. Vapor with another 20. Appreciate you. Down goes Randy Arozarena, and that is 1 away. Show me some hustle, Randy. Next up, for Seattle in the box, right fielder Luke Raleigh. And it'll be interesting to see the splits between Luke Raleigh and Victor Robles in right field. First pitch to Raleigh, high and away, Looked like it was a little bit out of the zone, but they call it a strike, 0-1 count. Curveball, 78 miles an hour there by Tanner Bybee. Bottom of the second inning, we're knotted up at 1 with nobody on. Big swing and a miss on that 0-1 pitch. Kind of baited him there. Change up 81 miles an hour there by Bybee. No balls and 2 strikes to Luke Raleigh. Bybee on the mound, Raleigh in the box. 0-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and Bybee catching some fire. Down goes Luke Raleigh, and that is 2 away. Next up, in the 7-hole, our everyday DH, the Italian Stallion, Dominic Canzone. This is like the first time that we've actually had a guy that wasn't like a thick guy. You know, not a Jared Vogelback, not a Mike Ford, not a Carlos Santana. So it's, kind of nice to be able to have a player like that. And I do feel that Canzone and Donovan will have breakout years with a few others this season. First pitch, high and inside with a 4-seam fastball by Bybee, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, low and at the knees. Good eye there by Dominic Canzone. 2 balls and no strikes from Bybee to Canzone. Bottom of the second inning, nobody on with 2 outs. We're knotted up at 1 here early. .2-0 pitch by Bybee, right down the middle for a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike to Dominic Canzone. Let's go, Dom. .2-1 pitch. Ooh, crushes it into right field. Will it hit the gap? And it's gone! Unbelievable! Dominic Canzone, the Italian Stallion. I told you he was going to have a breakout year. Let's go, baby. Dominic Canzone. Let's go. And again, the 2 players that I mentioned in spring training that I thought that were going to have breakout years, obviously with Donovan hitting a home run early, and now Dominic Canzone. I wish I would say I'm surprised, but I'm really not. And again, the next batter here who had an amazing, obviously, spring training, Cole Young. And I wouldn't be shocked if Cole Young ends up homering at some point in this series, and it could even be tonight. First pitch is fouled off behind the plate by Cole Young, 0-1 count. Let's go, baby. Bybee on the mound, Young in the box. 0-1 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Bybee to Young. Tanner Bybee on the mound, Cole Young in the box. And we'll definitely see Colt Emerson get called up sooner than later. Obviously, I would have rather had him than Ryan Bliss. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss there by Cole Young. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs, but at least it'll give him some reps, in AAA, and then they can make a moment out of it like they did with Cole Young, calling the parents, having it on video, and having it kind of be a memory. But I think Colt Emerson earned the starting spot over Bliss, but, it is what it is. 1-2 pitch, and that is strike 3 looking. Down goes Cole Young, but not after the Italian Stallion gets the job done. 2-1 Mariners. Vapor with a tenner. Talon with a tenner. Appreciate you. End of the second inning. 2-1 Seattle. And we know who we're going to be doing the season for right here. 50th anniversary last season for the Seattle Mariners on the radio. And again, if you're a Mariner fan at some point or another, even if you love the TV broadcast, this guy is not only one of the best on the radio, he's one of the best all time. And we obviously already had one of those in Dave Niehaus, rest in peace. But again, the Seattle Seahawks won the Super Bowl in their 50th season last year. This is the 50th season for the Seattle Mariners. Why not us? Let's go to the top of the third inning and see who's up next for the Guardians. Next up for the Guardians, in the 9-hole, second baseman, Brian Rocchio. Batting second, back at the top of the order, leadoff hitter, left fielder, 0 for 1, Stephen Kwan. And batting third, 1-for-1 with a run and an RBI. Right fielder in the 2-hole with the solo dinger. In the top of the first, Chase DeLauder. On the mound for the Mariners will still be Walter, a.k.a. Logan Gilbert. Shout out to Reflect. Shout out to TJ. Shout out to Vapor. Shout out to Bash. Shout out to Talon. Shout out to Bash again. Flying Monkey getting in on some work. Vapor in the building. Vapor again. And Talon, I appreciate you. First pitch to Brian Rocchio, low and at the knees, four-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Top of the third inning, 2-1 Seattle with solo dingers by DeLauder, Brendan Donovan, and the Italian Stallion, Dominic Canzone. 1-0 pitch, right down the middle with a cutter, 88 miles an hour by Logan Gilbert. 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and no outs. Top of the third inning, 2-1 Mariners. Let's go. Great start. Obviously, giving up the home run to DeLauder wasn't ideal, but to get 2 home runs after that, I think we'll take that. 1-1 pitch, fouled out of play by Rocchio. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Rocchio. Top of the third inning, 2-1 Seattle lead. One-two pitch. Big swing and a miss. Let's go. Another punch out there by Logan Gilbert. Nice job, Logan. Settling in after giving up that home run in the top of the first to DeLauder. Next up, left fielder 0-for-1, Stephen Kwan. First pitch to Kwan, right down the middle for a strike, 0-1 count. 5 Ks for Logan Gilbert, 4 for Tanner Bybee, so they're neck and neck so far. The only difference, Gilbert's given up 1 home run, Bybee has given up 2. All day in the building, what's good? Lauren in the building, what's good? 0-1 pitch, fouled out of play by Stephen Kwan. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Top of the third inning, 2-1 Seattle. Mike in the building, what's good? Lauren in the building, what's good? All day in the building, what's good? Judah in the building, what's good? 0-2 pitch, and good save there by Cal. It's always great to have an athletic catcher, defensively that can throw guys out, but also to be able to block a lot of those wild baseballs that go into the dirt to advance, to prevent the runners from advancing, and also to make sure that, the pitchers are still staying on point. 1-2 pitch from Gilbert. Another punch out there by Logan Gilbert. Down goes Stephen Kwan. 6 Ks for Logan. And we're getting an ABS challenge here. So let's see. The Guardians are challenging, but that's strike 3, baby. And the Guardians lose the challenge. Let's go. Down goes Stephen Kwan. That is 2 away. ABS challenged. They don't get it. Next up, right fielder who has a solo dinger in the first to give him the early 1-0 lead, Chase DeLauder. First pitch, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. Marine Bean in the building. What's good? How are you? Cutter, 90 miles an hour, missing by Gilbert. 1-0 pitch from Gilbert to DeLauder, high and away. Good frame job by Cal, but doesn't get the call. 2 balls and no strikes from Gilbert to DeLauder. Top of the third inning, 2-1 Mariners. And again, 3 solo dingers so far. I think we'll take that. And again, I don't think we're done. Not one bit. 2-0 pitch, hard hit ball by DeLauder. Shallow right field. Get it, Luke. And it looks like Cole Young ends up coming up and getting that catch, and that is out number 3. There we go. Let's go to the bottom of the third inning, and let's see if we can get another home run or another RBI opportunity. Let's see who's up next here for Seattle. And a quick update for anybody coming in. This is the Northwest Sports Fanatics YouTube channel. I'm your host, Orion. And again, top of the first inning, Chase DeLauder, solo dinger to deep right center, 358 feet. And that made it 1-0 Cleveland, which was a little shocking. You know, in the top of the first, you expect Logan Gilbert to pitch, decent, but you don't expect a home run in the top of the first. But luckily, in the bottom of the first, on a 3-1 count, Brendan Donovan says, hey, whatever you can do, Chase, I can do better. And he ends up homering to right, 353 feet, making it 1-1. And then in the bottom of the second inning, the other player that I thought that was going to have a really good breakout year, the Italian Stallion, we saw him in the WBC in limited action. He was kind of a bench guy, but they probably should have started him. And if they would have started him for Team Italy, maybe they would have beat Venezuela. It's something that they need to understand. Dominic Canzone is not a bench guy. He is a starting type of guy. He homers to right center, 418 feet. The Italian Stallion gets it done, and we have a 2-1 lead. Next up for the Mariners in the bottom of the third, in the 9-hole, filling in for JP as he recovers from an injury, shortstop Leo Rivas. Great story about him being in the minors for 10 years and finally getting a chance to be able to play. I love it. Batting second, 1-for-1, a run and an RBI. Third baseman, Brendan Donovan, already has a solo dinger. Will he get another one? Let's find out. And batting third, 0-for-0 with a walk, catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. You can watch it, Matt, if you download the MLB app and then click on the $19.99 option monthly, and they give you a free trial for a week. So you don't have to pay anything to watch the game. So if you have the MLB app, if you don't have cable or satellite, you can watch the game that way. 1-0 pitch to Leo Rivas. Big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike from Bybee to Rivas. And again, once they end up getting the cable and satellite providers connected, that will be an option where you can watch the game and not have to necessarily spend, money on a cable package and, Mariners TV. Popped up by Rivas on a 1-1 pitch, and that is 1 away. Down goes Leo. Next up, leadoff hitter from the St. Louis Cardinals, third baseman Brendan Donovan. And I really do believe that Donovan is going to be the best leadoff hitter that we've had since Ichiro Suzuki. We had D. Gordon in the past, and then JP, and then obviously Victor Robles, he got hurt, and then Randy was put there, but they weren't really true leadoff hitters. Maybe Robles might have been the best one, and JP used to be pretty good, but obviously with some injuries and some, tough mental health situations, obviously it's been kind of a tough road for JP, but hopefully he'll be back with the team sooner than later. 1-0 pitch, big swing and a miss by Brendan Donovan. 1 ball and 1 strike from Bybee to Donovan. So Mariners TV, if you actually, depending on what you have, there's certain channels if you go to the social media, through the Seattle Mariners, and they'll have the channels listed. But again, doing it on the MLB app, that would be the best way to watch. 1-2 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Bybee to Donovan. Two pitch from Bybee. Hard hit ball towards first base and a line drive to Rhys Hoskins, and he gets it. What athleticism there by Rhys. Head on a swivel, and that is 2 away. Next up, the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Probably should have won the MVP, for the American League, or at least won a co-MVP. We already know that Judge will always, have a higher batting average, and he's going to have a lot of home runs, and again, you can always give the award to Judge or Ohtani every single year. But again, if a guy that plays catcher that hits 60 home runs and the most home runs prior to that obviously is nowhere near, that number. If you're at like 38 and then you end up getting 60, I don't know what more, Cal really has to do. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes to the big dumper. Obviously, they wanted his batting average to be higher. They wanted more ribbies and whatnot. But again, you also have to take in consideration, being on your knees for hours on end, playing defense. That's something that Aaron Judge did not have to endure. 0-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss, and down goes the big dumper. And that was a very quick inning for Tanner Bybee. End of the third inning, 2-1 Seattle. Let's see who's up next here in the top of the fourth inning for the Cleveland Guardians. Next up for the Guardians, 0 for 1 with a K, third baseman Jose Ramirez. Batting second in the 4-hole, DHing 0 for 1 with a K, Kyle Manzardo. And batting third, 0 for 1 with a K, catcher in the 5-hole, Bo Naylor. On the mound for Seattle, still the ace, Logan Gilbert. Monkey with a 15er, appreciate you. Stacks, Brax with a little Cactus Jack, bang bang. Appreciate you. Another $15 holla on the Dono train. Thank you so much. And again, I do have a yearly visit, to the vet for Paisley, and we got a fraction of that being able to taken care of, but we're still a few $100s away. Anyone that has a dog or a cat, obviously knows what I'm talking about. It's definitely not cheap, to be able to go to a vet, whether it's an emergency or a yearly visit. And again, we've gotten a fraction of that. And again, anyone that ends up having a pet that's very close to them would understand. And anything that we can end up getting, we'll definitely be going towards that, as well as just, the basic things for us to be able to continue the dream. Top of the fourth inning, 2-1 Mariners. And if you need a quick recap, DeLauder in the top of the first, homered to right center, 358 feet, 1-0 Cleveland. Then Brandon Donovan on a 3-1 count in the bottom of the first said, whatever you can do, DeLauder, I can do better. He goes yard, making it 1-1. And then in the bottom of the second, we have the Italian Stallion, Dominic Canzone, homering to right center, 418 feet. And that's where we sit right now, 2-1 Mariners. Yeah, I got you. $5 holla from Flying Monkey. And reflect with a 3-er. First pitch to Ramirez, pops it up. Shallow center field. Julio is there. And that is 1 away. Good defense there by the no-fly zone in Julio. That is 1 away. Next up is Kyle Manzardo. First pitch in there from strike from Logan Gilbert, 0-1 count. 0 for 1 with a K for Kyle Manzardo and Logan Gilbert on the mound. 0-1 pitch from Gilbert. Check swing. Did he go? And looks like he does not. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Manzardo. Top of the fourth inning, 2-1 Seattle. So I got a yearly visit, and she's due for some vaccines that she hasn't had in a couple years. So it's not anything serious where she has to have surgery. But I was quoted $440 for the visit. And obviously, anything that's done through like Cash App and Venmo will help, because I'll be able to have access to that immediately. But anything that's done on the Super Chat, we'll be able to get that later on. Little slow dribbler towards first. Logan covers, toe tap on the bag, and that is 2 away. Vapor with a 5-er, appreciate you. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Next up for the Guardians, Bo Naylor. 195 average, 14 homers, and 47 ribbies. You assume that Naylor's numbers will be a little bit better for Cleveland this season. Big swing and a miss by Bo, 0-1 count. Come on, Logan, finish. Top of the fourth inning, Mariners up 2-1 with nobody on and 2 outs. 0-1 pitch from Gilbert. Naylor crushes that one into left field, out of play. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Oh-2 pitch, check swing, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Naylor. Come on, Logan. Finish, baby. 1-2 pitch from Gilbert. Inside, low, and at the knees. Good defense there by Cal. And again, I think that people don't really understand, how many wild pitches Cal saves, not only from our starters, but from a lot of the guys in the pen as well. And I'm really happy that he is a part of the Seattle Mariner organization. 2-2 pitch to Bo Naylor. Popped up, center field. Julio is there. Julio makes the catch, and that is out number 3. Nice job by Julio Rodriguez with the defense there in the no-fly zone. Let's go to the bottom of the fourth inning and see who's up next here for Seattle. And we needed 77 subs to get to 23,500 when we started. And it looks like we've gained quite a few. 15 or 16 subs already. 16, it looks like. So now we only need 61 subs to get to 23,500. Shout out to the 16 individuals that subbed to the channel. I welcome you. And again, we're going to be doing Seattle Mariner games all season. I'm going to do 161 out of 162. And the only game I'm going to miss is the 4th of July when I'm at T-Mobile versus the Blue Jays. And of course, postseason play will be here on the channel as well. Next up for the Mariners in the bottom of the fourth inning, 0-1 with a K, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. Batting second in the 4-hole, first baseman Josh Naylor. And batting third, 0-for-1 with a K, left fielder Randy Arozarena. And I know Flying Monk came in, so this is the lineup that we have starting off. So at third base, leading off, Brendan Donovan. Batting second, catching today, big dumper Cal Raleigh. Batting third, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. Batting cleanup and fourth, first baseman Josh Naylor. Batting fifth, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Batting sixth, playing right field over Victor Robles tonight, and that'll be something to kind of watch, Luke Raleigh. Batting seventh, DHing, the Italian stallion Dominic Canzone, and I think he'll be the best DH that we've had in a long, long time. Batting eighth, who had a breakout spring break and spring training, second baseman Cole Young. And batting ninth, filling in for JP with his minor injury, shortstop Leo Rivas. Hopefully that will help you there. And a first pitch to Julio, line drive to third. And that is 1 away. Nice job there by Jose Ramirez with the defense. I want Julio to work that count a little bit more, but good defense with Jose Ramirez at third, and that is 1 away. David Segui in the booth. Next up, first baseman, cleanup hitter, it's Nails, Josh Naylor. And we know we've had at least 5 Mariners that ended up having babies, in the offseason, and Josh Naylor is one of them. And definitely gives them some extra motivation here. A little dribbler towards first by Naylor on the first pitch, toe tap on the bag by Rhys Hoskins, and that is 2 away. We need Julio and Naylor to work the count. I get it, going for that potential first pitch strike, but work the count a little bit, my guy. Next up in the 5-hole, left fielder, Randy Arozarena. 61 subs away from 23,500. So we're sitting at 23,439. So I think, based on how the Mariners will be, first pitch, low and away, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle with the cutter. 1 ball and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. But we should probably gain, 3,000-4,000 subs by the time the season's over. So, hopefully we'll be, in that, 26, 27,000, 28,000 range. And depending on if we make the World Series and if we win it, who knows, maybe we could get to 30. You never know. 2-1 pitch. Randy pops it up into deep left field. And that is out number 3. Stephen Kwan takes care of Randy. And that is the end of the 4th inning. Let's go to the top of the 5th and see who's up next for the Guardian. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors for the Guardians. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors for the Mariners. 3 solo dingers so far. And again, we're halfway through the matchup with a 2-1 lead. So I don't do just Mariners. Like I ended up doing the Yankees and the Giants last night. So if we have a day off, there is a chance that I'll do a good matchup, whether it be the Dodgers or the Yankees or Tigers or Blue Jays or whoever's playing. But primarily, we do Seattle Mariners on the channel. Obviously, when we get into football season, we'll have obviously, the Oregon Ducks and the Washington Huskies, a lot of the top end teams in college football as well. And then we obviously do Monday night, Thursday night, Sunday night football in the NFL. And then again, we did the WBC. I did spring training. So we do a lot of baseball, a lot of football. And again, I've done a little bit of everything on the channel, whether it be basketball, baseball, football, hockey, WWE, AEW, UFC, boxing, you name it, we've done it on the channel. But I think, this time, primarily it's going to be baseball and then obviously college football and then the NFL. And then once obviously the NFL is over with the Super Bowl, then it's, we have about a month while we're waiting for baseball to get going, where we'll do a little bit of NHL, maybe with the Seattle Kraken or some NBA action, which we did obviously in February. And then obviously we did spring training baseball for the Mariners for quite a few games, as well as the WBC that was obviously this year as well. But I plan on doing, pretty much every game besides the one game that I'm going to be going to this year on the 4th of July versus the Toronto Blue Jays. Next up, in the top of the 5th, first baseman Rhys Hoskins. Batting second, center fielder Daniel Schneemann. And batting third, shortstop Gabriel Arias. First pitch, line drive, and it gets past Leo Rivas, and a nice single there by Rhys Hoskins. And that new addition for Cleveland is already working for them already. Nice base knock over towards third base. Next up in the 7-hole, center fielder Daniel Schneemann. On deck will be Gabriel Arias. And still on the mound, Walter, a.k.a. Logan Gilbert. Yeah, did the World Series, and obviously that's something that we always do, regardless if the Mariners are in it or not. But I'm hoping that this will be the year that the Mariners are in it against the Dodgers. And again, the Blue Jays got really close last season, and I know Seattle is right there with them. 0-1 pitch, low and away to Schneemann. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here in the top of the 5th with a runner at first, Rhys Hoskins, and no outs. 2-1 Seattle lead here in the top of the 5th. Logan Gilbert on the mound, Daniel Schneemann in the box. Clips in the building, what's good? We've done NASCAR on the channel as well, so there really isn't anything that I feel uncomfortable doing. Just kind of depends on what the main thing is on the channel. But primarily we do baseball and football, but we have to fill in the gaps sometimes as well. 1-1 pitch, low and away. Cutter 90 miles an hour, 2 balls and 1 strike to Daniel Schneemann. 2-1 pitch, low and away, in there for a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Schneemann. Two pitch, popped up into shallow left field. And Randy doesn't hustle worth a damn. Julio gets there. And now we got runners at second and third with no outs. And again, Randy is going to be fucking a liability in left field. I don't think I've ever seen an outfielder that is as talented as him. He's so fucking lazy, you know? And again, normally with pop-ups, he can get them. But if it's a ground ball, forget about it. Singles will turn into doubles. Doubles will turn into triples. And not only does he not hustle to the baseball when it's a ground ball, his throw to the infield is always a lob. Like, has anyone pulled him aside and said, hey, you need to hustle? You know, apparently not, but hopefully that'll improve, but I don't think it will. Nice double by Schneemann. And now they are threatening here with runners at second and third with no outs. We need Gilbert to step up here. First pitch, tries to jam him. Gabriel Arias pops it out of play, 0-1 count. 220 average, 11 homers, and 54 ribbies for Arias last season in 2025. Top of the fifth inning, runners at second and third with no outs. Mariners up 2-1, but for how long? 0-1 pitch, and Arias pops it up. It's in foul territory. Naylor is there. There we go, and that is one away. Keep those runners at second and third. Let him know, Clips. Next step for the Guardians, second baseman in the 9-hole, Brian Rocchio. First pitch to Rocchio from Gilbert. High and away, four-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour by Logan. 1 ball and no strikes with runners at second and third and 1 out. And hopefully we'll be able to keep this 2-1 lead, but there is a chance that they may end up tying it up or taking the lead if Logan isn't careful. 1-0 pitch. Hard hit ball towards first base, and that is fair. Run comes home, and we're tied up at 2. And that is a big double, and the other run comes home as well. Damn it. And just like that, Brian Rocchio with a 2-run RBI double, 3-2 Guardians. It wasn't going to be easy in this game. And again, you know, Logan was pretty good besides giving up the home run to DeLauder in the first, but getting roughed up here in the 5th. And that typically happens to starting pitchers. You know, about 1 inning before they're supposed to go out in the 6th, you know, sometimes they start to lose a little bit of their mojo. And Logan is getting roughed up now. Top of the 5th with 1 out, runner at second. And Rocchio with a double to right, and Hoskins and Schneemann scoring. We're down by a run now. Next up is Stephen Kwan. First pitch to Kwan right down the middle for a strike. 0-1 count. Gilbert on the mound. Stephen Kwan in the box. Oh, 1 pitch. High and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Kwan. Back-to-back four-seam fastballs, 94 miles an hour there by Gilbert. And again, we've already given up 2 runs here in the inning. We can't give up any more. Come on, Logan, settle in. 1-1 pitch from Gilbert. Kwan pops it up, shallow center field. And Leo Rivas with a nice defensive play, and that is 2 away. Nice job, Leo. Next up for the Guardians, right fielder Chase DeLauder, who has a solo dinger in the first inning, and hopefully he doesn't go yard here again. And Cal Raleigh with a mound visit, trying to settle Logan down. No, we're not going to put Donovan in left field. I mean, normally Donovan is, you know, he could play, you know, second base, shortstop, you know, third base, and even at third, that's not his natural position, but obviously they started to work him in that area. And you got to remember, we got Colt Emerson, obviously, that we can call up and take Ryan Bliss's spot, which he probably should have. But again, you know, it makes you kind of, you know, think like, you know, could you put like Luke Raley in left and then Julio in center and Victor Robles in right? But Randy is such a, you know, name, you know, that they're not going to just put a guy like him, you know, a former all-star, you know. But again, you for every time that he helps us in the box, how many runs does he give up? And how many extra bases does he give up by just being lazy in left field? And again, he's the only really lazy player on the team, and it's definitely not ideal. First pitch to DeLauder, pops it up, out of play, 0-1 count. Top of the fifth inning, 3-2 Guardians with a runner at second and 2 outs. We were up 2-1, but again, Rocchio with a 2-run RBI double, and now the Guardians are up by a run, 3-2. Yeah, Montez is more of a right fielder, but again, if you can play right, a lot of times those guys can play left as well, so. DeLauder takes a strike looking with the splitter, 82 miles an hour. No balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to DeLauder. 0-2 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gilbert to DeLauder. Yeah, but you wouldn't want Patrick Randy to DH over Dominic Canzone. So we finally get a DH that is capable, instead of a Jared Vogelback, Mike Ford, tree trunk, kind of bigger guy that can't actually play defense. And we know Dom is another guy that could play left field or right field if needed, but we'll see, how Randy does throughout the season. But I assume if nobody pulls him aside, he's going to continue that behavior the whole season, just like he did last year. Pitch fouled off with that splitter. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Chase DeLauder. Get this out, Logan. Finish. 1-2 pitch from Gilbert. Low and away. And nice save there by Cal as it gets thrown into the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Chase DeLauder. Yeah, no 2 DHs. Only 1. 2-2 pitch. That's fouled behind the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to DeLauder. But, we do have Lazaro Montes in the farm. That could be someone, but again, Victor Robles isn't playing today, and we know Luke Raley is a little bit of a liability defensively. And obviously he wasn't a very good hitter last year with his timing. I don't really know what he's going to do for us. Personally, I think I would rather have Victor Robles out there because, again, if they're both going to struggle, Robles will be the better all-around player. But again, we will have to monitor, what they're going to do in right field. And obviously, I think we're just stuck with Randy in left until he's not on our team anymore, or unless he ends up getting hurt. But, I don't wish injuries on anybody, even someone that's a lazy defender. 2-2 pitch, low and inside. Splitter 79 miles an hour by Gilbert. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at second and 2 outs. I mean, if Raley can actually hit this year, then it'll make up for maybe a little suspect defense in right. But, that still remains to be seen. 3-2 pitch. There we go. Big punch out there by Logan Gilbert, and we needed that. And that is out number 3, but not after Brian Rocchio gives them a 2-run RBI double, and they take a 3-2 lead. Let's go to the top of the 6th, and let's tie the game up or retake the lead. Let's see who's up next here for the Mariners. Marcos in the building. What's good, brother? But it's nice to be able to have the depth. This is one of the deepest teams, in Major League Baseball. So, again, remember, Bryce Miller is injured. Miles Mastroboni is injured. J.P. Crawford is injured. Colt Emerson is in AAA. We still got Cade Anderson and Ryan Sloan that could come up at some point during the season. Emerson Hancock will be pitching for Bryce Miller for maybe a month, but we'll see and monitor, how that goes. And hopefully we don't have 4 out of the 5 guys in the starting rotation get hurt. Luis Castillo was the only one that really didn't get hurt last year, but his numbers really haven't been good. He's very hit or miss, but again, hopefully the pitching staff can stay relatively healthy as well as the bullpen. Let's go to the top of the 6th inning, or excuse me, let's go to the bottom of the 5th inning and see who's up next here for Seattle. Next up for Seattle in the 6th hole, 0 for 1 with a K, right fielder, filling in for Victor Robles today, Luke Raleigh. Batting second, 1-for-1 with a run and an RBI. DHing in the 7-hole. Has a solo dinger already, the Italian stallion, Dominic Canzone. And batting third, 0-for-1 with a K, second baseman in the 8-hole who had absolutely fantastic spring training, Cole Young. And on the mound for the Guardians, still Tanner Bybee. First pitch to Raleigh, crushes it into right field. Oh, baby! Luke Raleigh, solo dinger. Are you kidding me? Well, I guess it was a good choice over Victor Robles today, baby. Luke Raleigh, I see you. And again, the guys that we need to step up, are stepping up. Brendan Donovan, solo dinger. Dominic Canzone, solo dinger. And thank you very much, Mr. Hustle. Luke Raleigh gets rewarded with a big home run. Trident's up. We're tied at 3. Let's go. Awesome, man. And again, to be able to have that type of depth, Raleigh, his timing was terrible last season, right? And he is a little bit of a liability. Maybe not as bad as Randy in left field, but not really the best defender in right field. But you can make up for it with a big home run, and he does right there. We're tied at 3, baby. First pitch to Dominic Canzone, the Italian stallion, outside, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, right down the middle by Tanner Bybee for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to Dominic Canzone. One pitch by Bybee. Big swing and a miss by Dominic Canzone. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Bottom of the 5th inning. We're tied up at 3. And I knew this was going to be one of the best games on opening day. Even though we had opening night, with the Giants and the Yankees, but we obviously saw how that turned out for the Giants. They got absolutely stomped. 7-0. 1-2 pitch. High and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Dominic Canzone. 2-2 pitch. Little dribbler. Throw to first. And that is 1 away. Dallin with a tenner. Appreciate you. Like you already knew, Dominic, Canzone and Brandon Donovan, it kind of felt like those guys could really break out. But imagine if Luke Raleigh and Cole Young and a few others, everyone expects Cal and Julio and Naylor and Randy to do big things, but it's not necessarily about those guys at the top. You still need to get production in the middle and the bottom of the order. First pitch to Cole Young inside, 1-0 count. Bybee on the mound, Cole Young in the box. 1-0 pitch, high and away, 2 balls and no strikes to Cole Young. Tanner Bybee on the mound, Cole Young in the box. And Cole had a fantastic spring training. And again, I think that he will drastically improve from what we saw, kind of late last year. 2-0 pitch, fouls that one back to the Muckleshoot sign behind the plate. 2 balls and 1 strike to Cole Young. Reflect with a 3-er. Appreciate you. Every dollar counts. Thank you so much. Two-one pitch. Big swing and a miss by Cole. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Bybee to Young. And also for some of the players, once they end up going against pitching that's not the number one, then those guys might be able to, start getting into their zone as well. To be able to get these kind of home runs off a pitcher to the caliber of Bybee, pretty impressive. Nice job by Brandon Donovan, Dominic Canzone, and Luke Raleigh. 2-2 pitch. And they're going to challenge that. And let's see if this ends up being strike 3 or not. We got Bo Naylor with the challenge. Is it a 3-2 count or is it a strike 3? Just on the corner. Golly. And then that call gets overturned, and that's strike 3 on Cole Young. And that is 2 away. Brutal. But again, it's, good to have that rule. Next up, in the 9 hole, filling in for J.P. Crawford, shortstop Leo Rivas. First pitch to Rivas inside, 1-0 count. If you're going to be watching the Mariners and you don't have cable or satellite, $99.99, you actually save like $20 to $40 in an entire season. I'm going to be doing the $20 a month. I have a free 1-week trial doing the 20-a-month plan for Mariners TV. And then once the Xfinity channel is able to get linked up to MLB, the app, then I may not have to pay anything, but for the time being, I'm going to be probably going down that route. 1-1 pitch, foul behind the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Leo Rivas. But again, if you do have cable, or satellite, obviously that's one route to go. Really, the MLB TV option for Mariners TV is for people more kind of on the go. If you want to be able to watch on a tablet or a cell phone, obviously there's going to be streaming sites that you can use, but obviously you're going to be behind, 30 seconds to a minute. And for some people, that's fine as long as they get to watch the game. But, for some of us, we, don't really have that option. So 1-2 pitch, high and away, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Leo Rivas. But if you go to the Mariners social media, they'll have what channels based off your area. 2-2 pitch, low and inside at the knees. Count now is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes from Bibee to Rivas. Bottom of the 5th with 2 outs and nobody on. We're knotted up at 3. 3-2 pitch from Bibee. And he fouls it off the catcher. Hopefully he's okay. Bo Naylor there. Count still full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on, and 2 outs. We're knotted up at 3. So the best way to watch it, if you're in a hotel, if you have the MLB app on your cell phone, go to the MLB app, click on the game, go to Mariners TV, choose the $19.99 option monthly, and they won't charge you, and you get a week free. That'll give you the opportunity to watch this game here tonight, as well as a few others. I think the next game will be on Apple TV Plus tomorrow, so you won't get tomorrow's game on there. But again, at least it'll give you a week's worth of free baseball, and then it will be $19.99 a month if you want to go that route. So if you want to watch the game, like right now, live, that would be the recommendation that I would give. That's what I'm doing right now. So until Xfinity, gets linked up with the MLB app, and then I may not have to pay anything at that point. 3-2 pitch from Bibee. High and inside, and that's a walk to Leo Rivas. Next up, leading off, third baseman Brendan Donovan, who ended up having a solo dinger on a 3-1 count in the bottom of the first, 353 feet. Let's see what we get here by Donnie. He's going to be the best leadoff hitter we've had since Ichiro Suzuki. And that's saying something. No disrespect to J.P. Crawford, Victor Robles, or Randy Arosarena leading off, but Donovan was the perfect piece to add in the offseason. First pitch, takes a strike, looking with the changeup right down the middle, 83 miles an hour by Bibee, 0-1 count. pitch, crushed out of play, no balls and 2 strikes to Brendan Donovan. Tanner Bibee on the mound for the Guardians. Brendan Donovan in the box for Seattle. I got you, Zach. And anybody else, that needs help, again, if you go to Mariners' social media page, they'll have a bracket, kind of laid out based on if you're located in Oregon, Washington, or even beyond, like a local broadcast. And depending on your provider, it'll give you those options. But again, if you don't have cable or satellite, doing the 7-day free trial on the MLB app, selecting the $19.99 month option would be the way to go. 0-2 pitch. And a hard hit ball towards third base, and another beautiful hit by Brendan Donovan. Rivas scampering to third, and he is safe. There we go, baby. beautiful double by Brandon Donovan. And again, that should have been a single for 90% of the players, but a beautifully timed hit ball towards that third base line, able to be able to scamper to second. And now we have runners at second and third, and we are threatening. Let's go. And again, I think Brandon Donovan is going to be, one of the best players, on Seattle. Like, obviously, we know Cal and Julio are always going to be the most popular. Naylor was obviously someone that we needed, over Gino or over Polo. But I think Donovan has a chance, to be one of the most reliable hitters on the team, if not the most reliable hitter on the team this year. We know that Cal and Julio will get the homers, and Naylor will steal bags, and we love having a good defender that can steal bags and get occasional home runs in Naylor. And then Randy can get some home runs, but his defense in left field is, questionable at best. But again, if you look 1 through 9 and our bench and in the farm, it's exciting. We are one of the deepest teams in MLB this year. First pitch to Cal Raleigh, big swing and a miss. Four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour by Tanner Bybee, 0-1 count. And if you watch Cal in the WBC, his timing was kind of off. It's still going to take him a little time to kind of get into a rhythm. They definitely weren't pitching him down the middle. They were trying to jam him inside, pitch him outside. So again, he's kind of pressing a little bit and a lot of pressure. He probably should have won co-MVP with Judge last season, hit 60 home runs. And there's a lot of pressure for him to hit 40 to 55 this year. And again, once he starts taking that pressure off his shoulders, then the game should open up for him, you would assume. 0-1 pitch, takes a strike looking high and away. No balls and 2 strikes to the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Oh, 2 pitch from Bybee. Low and inside at the knees. Good eye by Cal. 1 ball and 2 strikes with runners at second and third and 2 outs. Luke Raleigh, Hawks 420. Luke Raleigh, solo dinger. 1-2 pitch, high and inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. So we got home runs by DeLauder in the top of the first, Brandon Donovan in the bottom of the first, Canzone in the bottom of the second, Rocchio with a double to right, scoring 2, and then Raleigh just homered moments ago. So Donovan, Canzone, and Raleigh with home runs. 2-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and Bybee strikes out Cal. And I'm not surprised. Cal has been a little shaky, in spring training and in the WBC. It may take him a little bit of time to be able to get into a rhythm. And it also depends if he's going for moonshots, for every swing. If he starts to kind of ease up and relax and go for a few single swings instead of going for moonshots every time, then, I think that, things will progressively be easier for him. But if he's going to be going for, moonshot swings every at bat, then it may take a little bit longer, for Cal to adjust. But we know that he will eventually. It's just a matter of time. End of the 5th inning, we're knotted up at 3. Let's go to the top of the 6th and see who's up next here for the Guardians. Next up for the Guardians, 0 for 2 with a K, third baseman, Jose Ramirez. Batting second, 0 for 2 with a K, DHing in the 4-hole, Kyle Manzardo. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a K, catcher, Bo Naylor. And let's see if Gilbert will still be on the mound. Okay, so he's got 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, no walks. That's fantastic. 7 Ks. 83 pitches, 57 strikes. His ERA is 5.40. So based on the 83 pitches, they'll he start him in this inning? Will he complete the 6th? I hope so. And then on the flip side, Tanner Bybee, 5 innings pitched, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 7 Ks. So him and Gilbert have the same amount of Ks, 7 apiece. He's at 78 pitches, 48 strikes, and his ERA is crazy, 5.40, just like Logan Gilbert. So the ERA is the same, and the punch-outs, 7 apiece, are the same. So, again, and the score is tied, 3-3. So, again, the pitchers are on a pitching duel. They both have given up, a couple big plays. Obviously, Bybee has given up 3 home runs, and obviously Logan has only given up 1, but gave up a big 2-run RBI double to Rocchio. And again, it's anybody's game here. Yeah, and again, Root Sports doesn't exist anymore. So again, you have to get MLB TV, the Mariners TV option if you want to watch. And then obviously tomorrow's game will be on Apple TV Plus. If you have T-Mobile for a cell phone provider, they do give you MLB, extra innings for free, but the Mariners is blacked out. So you have to, obviously add that add-on if you want to be able to watch that particular way, unless you have cable or satellite. And also, you do get a discount on T-Mobile. It's like $3 a month for Apple TV, which used to be free. And they give you Netflix and Hulu for free, as well as the MLB extra inning package, if anyone's interested. 1-1 pitch by Gilbert. And Ramirez pops it up. Should be a routine play here for Donovan at third. And that is 1 away. Yeah, but it also depends on your area, on where you live for Xfinity. So for some people, depending on where you live in Washington and Oregon, it'll be on Xfinity on 1261. But for others, it will be on a different channel and possibly on a different option, depending on where you live. And it looks like Logan Gilbert is done. And we're going to get our first taste of Jose Ferrer, the lefty, that obviously we traded Harry Ford for to the Nationals. Good job, Logan. I mean, it could have been better, but again, most, pitchers, no matter how elite you are, sometimes you're going to give up, 1 to 3 runs. You just want to make sure you're not giving up 4 or more. That's when things kind of get into the danger zone. If anybody watched Paul Skeens, he wasn't even really able to complete his outing. So again, sometimes elite guys, struggle. And then sometimes, they end up dominating like the Yankees did last night. So Jose Ramirez pops out to third with 1 out in the top of the 6th. Next up is Kyle Manzardo, and coming in is Jose Ferrer. All right, let's look at Logan Gilbert's final numbers. 5.1 innings pitched, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, no walks, and I love no walks. That's always fantastic. 7 Ks, 86 pitches, 59 strikes, ERA of 5.06, but we'll bring that down. And coming into the game from the Washington Nationals will be Jose Ferrer that we traded Harry Ford for. And we obviously know Mitch Garver ended up winning the backup role over Andrew Kisner. And obviously with Pareda and O'Keefe, obviously made their way on after, they went and cut down the roster. We just have to hope that Jose Ferrer isn't like necessarily Gabe Spire, where you get 1 out and then you give up a home run. He did that twice in the WBC as well as in spring training. So again, hopefully Ferrer, is a little wild, but it is nice to have another lefty with Gabe Spire in the pen. I still think Eduard Bizardo is the 1. Matt Brash is the 2. I don't even know if Gabe Spire will be the 3. There might be someone else that steps up, but you got Gabe Spire, Jose Ferrer as lefties, and then obviously you've got guys like Casey Legumina and Carlos Vargas, even though he's wild, we'll see. And a 1-0 pitch gets hit into right field, and Jose Ferrer already getting lit up here early. Come on, Jose. Nice base knock there by Kyle Manzardo. Next up, in the 5-hole, catcher Bo Naylor. I do. Like I said, I may look, I don't know what people think, but I've been collecting since I was 5, and I'm going to be in, my mid-40s here pretty soon. Little slow dribbler, hit up the middle, double play, throw to first. And not in time for that throw. No attempt. And fielder's choice at second base there. 2 away. But I collect starting lineups, McFarland's, graded cards, ungraded cards, posters, Sports Illustrateds, G.I. Joes, Transformers, Ninja Turtles, Walking Dead, you name it. I got it. So, yeah, a little bit of everything. And Naylor grounds out to the fielder's choice to first. Manzardo out at second. And next up is Rhys Hoskins, who's 2 for 2 with a run tonight. And Rhys has been a good addition for Cleveland so far. First pitch to Hoskins, outside, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch from Ferrer, right down the middle. That was a good pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike from Ferrer to Hoskins. Jose Ferrer on the mound for Seattle. Rhys Hoskins in the box for the Guardians. 1-1 pitch from Ferrer, the lefty. Big swing and a miss. Beauty. And maybe Jose Ferrer will be number 3, over Gabe Spire. It's possible. And then maybe Carlos Vargas, even though he's wild, instead of being the worst on the team, maybe he ends up being 4th or 5th this year in the pen. We could definitely use it. Edward Bizardo used to be one of the worst with Taylor Saucedo a couple years ago, and then he turned into our best guy in the pen last year. So anything is possible. We just need, Carlos Vargas to kind of slow down a little bit. 1-2 pitch, pops it up. Luke Raleigh, what are you doing, my guy? Golly. We got guys at left field and right field that can't play defense. Christ. Come on, Luke. 3 for 3 for Rhys Hoskins there. Next up, center fielder in the 7-hole, Daniel Schneemann. I love the home run by Luke Raley, but man, we can't have liabilities in left and right field defensively. Yikes. But on the flip side, what if Luke would have dove for that? Then, multiple runs come home, and, if he misses it and it goes behind him, it's not like Randy's going to run from left field to get the ball, and then Julio would have to run from center to go grab that. So, again, it's kind of one of those things that, are you going to take the risk on diving for it? And if you miss it, you're going to probably have the other team score a few runs, and that might be the difference between winning and losing. So, but normally Luke hustles, so I don't really have an issue with him. But that was a play that kind of looked like Luke might have been able to get it, but, All right, Martinez is coming in. All right, Angel Martinez is pinch hitting for Schneemann. We got runners on the corners at first and third and 2 outs. Come on, Ferrer. First pitch, big swing and a miss. Jose Ferrer on the mound. Angel Martinez in the box, pinch hitting for Daniel Schneemann. 0-1 pitch, inside, 1 ball and 1 strike from Ferrer to Angel Martinez. 78 to 85 weren't as overproduced as much as, 89 to like 94. Those ones were, or maybe even 88 to 94. Those were really mass produced, but you can still find gems, and again, if you get cards graded, you can get a card that's worth $10, and if you get a 10, it could be worth a couple hundred. So there's still money to be made. Just it really depends on what you have. Rookie cards, autos, patches, things of that nature. Numbered cards. 2-1 pitch, popped up into right field. Get it, Luke. And Luke is there in foul territory. There we go. And that is out number 3. They leave 2 stranded. And a great job there by Jose Ferrer. And again, when I watched him in spring training, I was a little nervous. I'll be honest. When I saw him, I'm like, oh God, is this going to be another Gabe Spire, but worse? But again, we know Gabe can be good, but lately Gabe has been able to get an out and then gives up a home run the next batter. He did that twice in the WBC, and it did it multiple times in spring training. So I don't really have a whole lot of confidence in Gabe or Casey Legomina or Carlos Vargas. They're going to have to earn it. But Ferrer, it has a chance to leapfrog Gabe Spire and to be number 3. And again, if that ends up happening, then we'll have Bizardo in the 1 and obviously in the pen, Matt Brash as the 2, Ferrer as a 3, Gabe Spire as the 4, and then if we can get Carlos Vargas as the 5, and he ends up being better than last year, that's pretty deadly, and I know that Vargas will fuck up and he'll lose games for us, but the same thing will go for Gabe Spire and Ferrer, you would assume, and even Brash and Bizardo sometimes, they're human. They're gonna, end up blowing saves and whatnot, but overall, I like what we have. Let's go to the bottom of the 6th inning with runners stranded at first and third. Great defense by Seattle. Let's see who's up next here for the Mariners. Next up, 0 for 2 with a K, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. Batting second, 0 for 2, first baseman in the 4-hole, Josh Naylor. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a K, left fielder in the 5-hole, Randy Arrozarena. Paisley wanted to make an appearance for y'all. All right, looks like Bybee might be done. And my pup has been a little sick today, so I didn't really know if I was going to have to be back and forth off the stream. But it looks like Bybee is done, and they're going to be bringing in a new pitcher. And I'm going to kind of just take a quick peek here. I don't know if she's hungry and whatnot, but she's had some stomach issues and whatnot. So hopefully that she'll be okay. And it looks like Brogdon is going to be coming in here momentarily. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Stacks, Racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Another $5 holla on the Dono train. Thank you so much. All right, let me go get a little snack for my pup here while they bring in Brogdon. All right, I got to get the Brogdon photo here real quick. Lay down, honey. All right, Connor Brogdon is in for Tanner Bybee, and I'll go over the final line for Bybee as well. All right, let's take a look at Tanner Bybee's final line. 5 innings pitched, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 7 Ks, 78 pitches, 48 strikes with a 5.40 ERA. And Connor Brogdon coming in, obviously formerly of the Los Angeles Angels, as you can see. First pitch to Julio Rodriguez. Low and away, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch in there for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to Julio Rodriguez. Bottom of the 6th inning, 3-3, Guardians and Mariners, nobody on and no outs. 1-1 pitch, low and at the knees to Julio Rodriguez. 2 balls and 1 strike with nobody on and no outs. Bottom of the 6th, we're knotted up at 3. 2-1 pitch. Julio crushes that one out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Now, we have ABS now, too, so obviously it's going to keep those umps honest. 2-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and down goes Julio Rodriguez, and that is 1 away. Next up for Seattle in the 4-hole, first baseman, it's Nails, Josh Naylor. On deck for Seattle in the 5-hole, left fielder, Randy Arozarena. Both starting pitchers have exited, so it's really going to be a grind to see who wants it more here in the last 3 innings. First pitch to Josh Naylor, big swing and a miss. Four-seam fastball by Connor Brogdon, 94 miles an hour, high and away, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Nails, Josh Naylor. Yeah, the ump has actually been pretty good today, and we'll see how that goes. And I obviously think that knowing that the ABS is live, a lot of these umps that were shitty, that would just do whatever they wanted because they had, rivalries against some of the players and would do their own thing. They can't do that anymore. 2-1 pitch, that gets fouled off behind the plate to that Alaska Airline sign there. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Josh Naylor. So it really keeps, the shitty umps honest, and then the good ones, on their game. And then if it ends up being close, the ABS will sort it out. And again, I don't think that every ump is going to be as good as this one tonight, but, no complaints tonight so far. I mean, we should have had the ABS years ago to keep, these umps honest, but at least it's here this season. 2-2 pitch. Hard hit ball towards first base. Throw to first. And that is 2 away. And it wouldn't shock me if we have baseball in the Olympics in the future or the WBC next time around if they implement, the ABS in those as well. It probably would be something that would be smart to do. I mean, we saw how the USA Dominican Republic game ended on a controversial, strike 3 that was a ball, so we want to make sure that, the umps aren't dictating the outcomes. First pitch to Randy Arozarena, fouls it off, out of play, 0-1 count. Bottom of the 6th inning, 3-3. We got a tie here in the bottom of the 6th. Nobody on and 2 outs. 0-1 pitch. Hard hit ball by Randy. And that goes into shallow left field. Let's go, Randy. Go for 2. Run, Randy. A 2-out hustle double. And you're not going to hear hustle and Randy Arozarena in the same sentence often, especially defense. But one thing that Randy can do from time to time, besides hit home runs, he can get you some singles, doubles, and an occasional triple. Nice job, Randy. Next up, right fielder, Luke Raleigh. Let's go, Luke. Double by Randy Arozarena. And we'll find out if that ends up being an error or not, because there was a little bit of a bobble there, but we'll find out. They're kind of going over it on the broadcast. So once they know, then you'll know. First pitch to Luke Raleigh, big swing and a miss. 0-1 count. Brogdon on the mound, Raleigh in the box. 0-1 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Luke Raleigh. And Randy hustling, and again, a lot of times when those balls are hit in that area to Randy, singles turn into doubles, doubles turn into triples. Nice for him to be able to, do it himself and not give up something like that. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss by Luke Raleigh. Four-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour by Connor Brogdon, who comes in for Tanner Bybee. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at second and 2 outs. We're tied up at 3. It's anybody's game, and it really will determine whoever's bullpen is a little bit hotter will come out with the victory here tonight. Bottom of the 6th, runner at second with 2 outs. We're tied up at 3. 1-2 pitch from Brogdon to Raleigh incoming. 1-2 pitch. Popped up. Shallow left field. And Ramirez with a Willie Mays over-the-shoulder catch for out number 3. Wow. And that's why he's going to be a Hall of Famer one day. Nice job by Jose. Are you okay? Can you go to the bathroom? Are you all right? Are you okay? That needs to keep working. Are you all right? You can sit here if you want. Next up in the top of the 7th, 0 for 2, shortstop Gabriel Arias. Batting second, 1 for 2 with 2 RBIs and a K. Second baseman in the 9-hole, Brian Rocchio. And batting third, 0 for 3 with a K, left fielder Stephen Kwan. Are you okay? You have to go to the bathroom? You have to go to the bathroom? You have to go pee or poop? You're okay. All right, Gabe Spire coming in, relieving Jose Ferrer. So from one lefty to the next. Are you okay? What do you want? Do you need a snack? Do you need water? Do you need food? Gabe Spire on the mound. Gabriel Arias in the box. All right, I think I might have to go take my pup outside. I don't really want to miss any of this action, but I don't want her to have an accident inside. So I'm going to have to step away here for just a second. I'll be right back as soon as I can. I apologize. All right, I'm back. My pup has been a little bit sick today, so I may have to step away a little bit here and there. I don't want to, but I don't want to make sure that there's no accident in the house there. So hopefully she'll be okay. Looks like Spire ended up giving up a hit there, or a walk. Next up is Stephen Kwan. So it looks like Rocchio ends up getting a single to center. Not surprised. First pitch in there to Stephen Kwan, in there for a strike, 0-1 count. Top of the 7th inning, we're tied up at 3 with a runner at first. Rocchio with 1 out. Spire on the mound, Rocchio in the box. Or Stephen Kwan in the box, excuse me. 0-1 pitch, Kwan fouls that one off behind the plate. No balls and 2 strikes to Stephen Kwan. Yeah, I mean, she's got some stomach stuff going on right now. So obviously, As anyone knows, if you end up having the bubble guts or if you end up, having an upset stomach, anyone knows what that's like, for obviously a human or for a dog or a cat. You want to make sure that, they have a particular place where they can do their business. You don't want that to be an incident in the house and whatnot. So hopefully that she's okay. Pitch fouled off there by Quan. 0-2 pitch. And fouled off behind the plate by Quan. No balls and 2 strikes from Spire to Quan. But I'm actually kind of lucky that, this was the first time, I definitely, she woke me up super early today, like 4 or 5 in the morning. And that isn't usually what she does. And, sometimes when, she's off her routine, it's, more than just waking up early. Something's typically wrong. So, but I don't think it's serious, but hopefully she's okay. Little slow dribbler, and that goes foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Spire to Quan. Top of the 7th inning, we're knotted up at 3 with a runner at first and 1 out. Gabe Spire on the mound, Stephen Quan in the box. We don't need Quan. We got Brandon Donovan. And Quan pops it up. A little blooper, and that is 2 away. Nice job there by Leo Rivas. 2 away. Next up for Gabe Spire. In the 2-hole right fielder, Chase DeLauder. Yeah, I got to go check up on her again real quick. I apologize. And Brash in the bullpen. Looks like DeLauder singles the left and Rocchio to second. It shows you, like I was mentioning, Gabe Spire, not very reliable. First pitch, right down the middle to Jose Ramirez. 0-1 count. Got to get out of this. Come on, Gabe. Jose Ramirez, 0 for 3 with a K. Oh, 1 pitch inside, 1 ball and 1 strike from Spire to Ramirez. Top of the 7th inning, runners at first and second with 2 outs. We're knotted up at 3, and hopefully Gabe can do his job. Hard hit ball into left field. Randy, Jesus Christ, Randy, run! And 2 runs are going to score, it looks like. Throw is home, but it's wide. And just like that, 5-3 Guardians. Fuck! And again, normally when you have ground balls to Randy, not a good sign. And when you end up getting a pop-up and he's not in position, then there you go. And again, Randy is a liability in left field. For every big single, double, triple, or home run he gives you, he gives up that and some defensively. I'm sick of him, man. But there's nothing that we can do. Obviously he's on the team for the foreseeable future, but I sure as hell would like to have somebody that's a little bit more capable in left field. And it's bad enough when you give up a run, but when you end up giving up 2 because you're out of position or you're just lazy, brutal. Big double by Ramirez. DeLauder and Rocchio score, and now we're going to have to climb uphill again, down by 2 runs. Still can come back and win this game, but again, it's going to be tough. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss by Kyle Manzardo. No balls and 2 strikes from Spire to Manzardo. Oh, 2 pitch. high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Spire to Manzardo. Top of the 7th inning with a runner at second and 2 outs. Guardians up 5-3. And we definitely have to get this last out. We cannot have them go up by more than 2. 1-2 pitch. And the runner ends up stealing third. And it shows you, like I mentioned with Gabe, he's not reliable. You know, he used to be pretty good, but again, he's one of those guys that will get 1 out, give up a home run, and obviously multiple big hits again. And, I don't think he's going to be a top 3 guy in the Mariners pen this year. Jose hopefully will be better. And I know this is kind of a crazy thing to say, but maybe even Carlos Vargas will be better than him this year. A little slow dribbler, throw to first, and that runner gets stranded at third. And we know Vargas is wild as hell, but man, Gabe Spire is just not reliable, and he hasn't been for a minute. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 7th inning and see if we can get this game tied up 5-5. Let's see who's up next for Seattle. Apologize for stepping away. Looks like my pup is a little sick. So next up for Seattle, 1 for 2 with a run and an RBI, DHing Dominic Canzone. Come on, Italian Stallion. Batting second, 0 for 2, second baseman Cole Young. And batting third in the 9-hole, shortstop Leo Rivas. All right, Sean Armstrong coming into the game here for the Guardians. Come on, Dom. First pitch, Dom crushes it. Deep center field. Back. See ya! Let's go. Dom with 2 homers, baby. Let's get it. The Italian Stallion strikes again. I told you he's going to be the best DH we've had in a long, long time, maybe even since Edgar Martinez. The Italian Stallion strikes again. Homer to center, 444 feet. He says, we're not going to lose this game. 5-4 Guardians. Nice job, Dom. Second bomb of the day. Next up, second baseman Cole Young. On deck, Leo Rivas. Let's go. Huge. We needed that, especially after, that debacle, early in the top of the 7th inning where we gave up a few, to be able to strike back immediately, that definitely will give us a chance. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss by Cole Young. No balls and 2 strikes from Armstrong to Young. Bottom of the 7th inning, 5-4 Guardian lead. Huge. I mean, we may not win the game, but at least we're going to be battling all the way to the end. 0-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and down goes Cole Young, and that is 1 away. Next up for the Mariners, in the 9-hole, shortstop Leo Rivas. Come on, Leo. First pitch is inside to Rivas. 1-0 count. Bottom of the 7th inning. 5-4 Guardian lead. And again, hopefully we'll be able to get this game tied in this inning or possibly in the 8th. 1-0 pitch. High and away. 2 balls and no strikes to Leo Rivas. We could definitely use a meltdown here by Armstrong, to get a few guys walked and, to be able to put us in a really good position with 1 out, hopefully. Talon with a tenner. Appreciate you. 2-0 pitch. Ends up being another ball. 3-0 count here to Leo Rivas. Let's go, baby. 3-0 pitch. Right down the middle for a strike. There by Armstrong. 3 balls and 1 strike to Leo Rivas. Dominic Canzone with his 4th multi-homer game by the Mariners. Richie Sexton on opening day did it in 2005. So it's been a minute for someone to hit 2 home runs on opening day. Richie Sexton, man, that's an old school name. Pitch fouled off there by Leo Rivas. High and away. 4-seam fastball, 93 miles an hour. Count now is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on, and 1 out. Bottom of the 7th inning, 5-4 Guardian lead. Three-two pitch. Big swing and a miss, and Rivas, after starting off with a 3-0 count, strikes out with Armstrong. And that is 2 away. Next up for the Mariners, leadoff hitter, third baseman who had a homer in the 1st inning on a 3-1 count, Brendan Donovan. 2 for 3 with a run and an RBI. Come on, Donnie. Let him know, Marine Bean. And it looks like we're going to have another pitching change, and I'll take a quick peek at my pup and see if she's okay. Yeah, well, Emerson, obviously should have made the roster over Ryan Bliss. But again, that'll be a discussion for another day. So we went from Bybee to Brogdon to Armstrong, and now they're bringing in their 4th pitcher. Sorry about that. There was some kind of issue, through the internet there. So apologize for that. Let's go to the top of the 8th inning. Guardians up 5-4. Just want to make sure everything is still properly set up here. All of a sudden, I was watching the game, and then all of a sudden my screen went completely white, and then the game ended up being turned off as well. So I don't know what the hell that was, if we had like a little minor outage here where I live, but at least we're good to go now. Let me check the mics and everything too. Everything sound okay on my end on the mics? It looks like everything is still good. All right, hold on. I gotta let my dog out here. All right, Casey Legomina coming in. Now Bo Naylor in the box. First pitch, high and away with a sinker, 93 miles an hour to Bo Naylor, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, fouled off, low and away, change up 88 miles an hour, 1 ball and 1 strike from Legomina to Naylor. Apologize about the broadcast. My dog is sick, so I've had to step away a few times here, which is not ideal, but I got to do what I got to do. Naylor pops it up to Randy Arosarena in left field, and thankfully that's not a ground ball, and that is 1 away. It's not the worst timing possible. It's the season opener, and my dog hasn't been sick in a long time, and then all of a sudden, gets sick kind of this morning, and has been sick all day, but hopefully, she'll be okay. Next up, 3 for 3 with a run, first baseman Rhys Hoskins. First pitch is low and away by Casey Legomina, 1-0 count. Top of the 8th inning, Guardians up by a run, 5-4 with nobody on and 1 out. 1-0 pitch, high and away with a sinker, 94 miles an hour, 2 balls and no strikes from Legomina to Hoskins. She's an American Staffy, so American Staffordshire Terrier, kind of in the Pitty family and whatnot. And she doesn't really get sick often, but she's got some stomach issue and whatnot, and it's been all day today. So I was hoping that I wouldn't have to miss too much of the broadcast, but it really didn't start happening here again until the 7th inning. So I apologize for that. 3-0 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. 3 balls and 1 strike from Legomina to Hoskins. 3-1 pitch, and that is low and away, and Hoskins is going to go to first with a walk. Next up, 0 for 1, left fielder Angel Martinez. And then not only the pup had some issues, then all of a sudden my internet, with the game and the stream ended up, kind of disappearing for, about a minute or two. But luckily the stream didn't get booted based off the program that I use. If I would have used my old program, it would have just ended the stream. So luckily, with the program that I use, even if the internet gets kicked off, it'll still continue, to play either background music or, you may not see me per se until it's all fixed, but luckily it was a quick fix. Now we got a mound visit here with Naylor and Cal Raleigh with Casey Legomina. And again, when you start to go in the pen, Gilbert, normally reliable. Jose Ferrer did a good job. Gabe Spire, not someone that you can trust. And Legomina is in that same kind of boat. So hopefully we'll be able to keep this game within 1 run, and we'll have one last shot in the 8th and the 9th to be able to tie it up or to win. But the pup always comes first. She is a huge part of my life. And, again, I got to be able to make sure that she's okay. 1-0 pitch, and Angel Martinez fouls it out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike to Angel Martinez. 1-1 pitch by Legomena, and that is crushed out of play again by Angel Martinez. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out. Top of the 8th inning, 5-4, Guardian lead. One-two pitch, fouled off. Pitch is high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Angel Martinez. 2-2 pitch is high and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Count is full with a runner at first and 1 out. 3-2 pitch. And a big swing and a miss there by Angel Martinez, and that is 2 away. Yeah, once a starting pitcher goes out, they don't get a chance to come back in. So Logan has been done for quite some time. And a hard hit by Gabriel Arias there to left field, and it goes to Randy Arosarena, and of course he lobs it like he always does. Runners at first and second now with 2 outs. Nice base knock there by Gabriel Arias. Next up in the 9-hole, second baseman Brian Rocchio. And again, more games are won and lost with the bullpen. And again, it's like I do love Edward Bizzardo and Matt Brash, but after those 2 guys, it's a big question mark. Gabe Spire, to Casey Legomena, to, guys like, Carlos Vargas. There's not really a whole lot of trust. You hope that certain guys, end up being, what you expect them to be, but, Gabe Spire still looking kind of shitty. And was shitty in the WBC and looking shitty today. 0-1 pitch. Inside, almost hits Rocchio in the leg. 1 ball and 1 strike from Legomena to Rocchio. But Casey's not very good. Obviously, Vargas, has potential, but he's wild. He doesn't really have the accuracy. I'm not really big on Gabe Spire, even though he used to be good, but he hasn't been good lately. But hopefully that'll improve. So it's like you got Brash and Bizzardo, and that's pretty much it. Big swing and a miss there by Rocchio. 1 ball and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 2 outs. Top of the 8th inning, 5-4 Guardians. Yeah, Bizzardo 1, Brash 2. Those guys are trustworthy, but everyone else not so much. 1-2 pitch, hit out of play there by Rocchio. Count still remains 1 ball and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 2 outs. Guardians up by a run, 5-4, but the Mariners are still going to have a chance. 1-2 pitch, inside. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Brian Rocchio. Or 2 balls and 2 strikes to Brian Rocchio. Come on, Casey. 2-2 pitch. Hard hit ball towards first base and foul. Pitch is inside, and they say it hits him. Jesus. And again, more games are going to be won and lost by the pen, And again, if the pen is good and we're hitting early in the game and the starting pitcher does pretty good, we're going to have a chance. But as you've seen, after Jose Ferrer, it's really been shitty here. And again, we need guys to be able to step up, especially this being the first game of the season. And now we got bases loaded with 2 outs, and it feels like the game is starting to kind of get away from us now. Rocchio hit by a pitch, Arias to second, Hoskins to third. And that's the problem. Every team in MLB, their number one issue is the bullpen. It's not like anybody really has a trustworthy 1 through 5 in the pen. You're going to have your closer, and we obviously have a really good one in Andres Munoz, but again, it's not like he's going to be able to come into a game, if we're down by a run, and they have bases loaded with 2 outs. So, I love Munoz. I love Edward Bizardo. I love Matt Brash, but everyone else, man, it's tough sledding. First pitch in there to Stephen Kwan. High and inside, 1-0 count. Top of the 8th inning, 5-4 Cleveland. 1-0 pitch, and there for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike from Casey Legumina to Stephen Kwan. Top of the 8th inning, 5-4 Guardians. Bases loaded with 2 outs. Mariners need to get this 3rd out desperately. 1-1 pitch, hard hit ball into left field, out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Stephen Kwan. One-two pitch, hard hit ball towards left field, out of play. But we only have so many guys. I mean, you really only have, Bizardo and Brash that would come in first, and then obviously Munoz at the very end. But you also need guys in between to be able to not shit the bed. And the problem, with Jose Ferrer did pretty good, but Gabe Spire, ended up shitting the bed like he has been. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and Stephen Kwan strikes out and leaves bases loaded. The Mariners are going to have a chance. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 8th and see if we can tie this game up or take the lead. And again, I apologize having to step away a few times since the 7th inning. My dog is sick, so hopefully she won't have any more accidents or any type of issues and whatnot. But I just want to be able to let you guys know what is going on. Next up for the Mariners in the bottom of the 8th inning, 0 for 2 with a base on ball and 2 Ks. Catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And again, Cal and Julio have been struggling with Naylor. This is the time that they need to shine. Batting second, 0 for 3 with 2 Ks. Center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. Better late than never. Try to go 1 for 4 instead of 0 for 4. We don't need another Aaron Judge situation here tonight. And batting third, 0 for 3, first baseman, Josh Naylor. So right now, these 3 guys are a combined 0 for 8 with Raleigh, Julio, and Naylor. And that's unacceptable. If we want to be able to be a team that we know we can be, and there's going to be games where they're going to struggle. And luckily, Donovan homered, right? Dominic Canzone, the Italian stallion, homered twice. Even Luke Raley homered, but again, at a certain point in the game, it doesn't even need to be a home run by Cal, Julio, or Naylor, but they got to find a way to get on base. Instead of going for that home run swing, try to just get on base with the single. And we'll see if Cal, Julio, or Naylor, or all 3 can step up here in the bottom of the 8th. Dogs are family. I mean, my pup, I spend, literally every single second, of my day and, with her besides, when I'm obviously working. And, we've been walking 5 miles a day, 7 days a week for 2 years straight. I've gotten her down from 71 pounds to 57. And again, we've been walking, what is that? 140 miles a month. So almost 1,700 in a year. So we're grinding out here, but something's going on with her today with the stomach, but hopefully she'll be okay. First pitch to Cal Raleigh is a ball, 1-0 count. Sabrowski on the mound, big dumper in the box. 1-0 pitch to Cal, high and away. 2 balls and no strikes to big dumper Cal Raleigh. And even if we can take a walk or maybe someone gets hit by a pitch, that could help. We don't have to try to get a home run with Cal, Julio, and Naylor to win this game. Just get on base somehow, some way. 2-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss by Cal. 2 balls and 1 strike from Sabrowski to Big Dumper. Two-one pitch, big swing and a miss. And Cal's batting right-handed now because Sabrowski is a lefty. And again, Cal's timing has been a little bit off. He wasn't very good in the WBC and spring training, a little off with the timing as well. A lot of pressure after hitting 60 home runs and being runner-up to the MVP to Aaron Judge. But you just got to calm down and not worry about the expectations and just be the Big Dumper. 2-2 pitch from Sabrowski. High and away. Whoa! They call strike 3. Challenge that. There's no way that was strike 3. Challenge. Challenge. No challenge? What are we doing? That's clearly outside. And Cal strikes out. Where is the challenge? Jesus. 1 away. What are we doing? Next up is Julio Rodriguez. First pitch right down the middle to Julio. 0-1 count. Unbelievable that they didn't challenge that. I mean, we're down by a run. We need to get guys on base. It clearly was outside. I can't believe they didn't challenge that. 0-1 pitch. Check swing, high and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Julio Rodriguez. Too early to say, Connor, because Cal's still early in his career. Big swing and a miss by Julio. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Sabrowski to Julio Rodriguez. Bottom of the 8th. Nobody on with 1 out. Can't believe they didn't challenge that last pitch by Cal Raleigh. Could have had, Cal at first. He's been definitely struggling. Julio and Naylor as well. But there's still a chance for Julio and Naylor to be a hero here. 1-2 pitch. And that's strike 3 looking for Julio. Oh, my God. 2 away. Down goes Julio. Down goes Cal. Next up is Josh Naylor. Come on, Naylor. And you don't even need to get a home run. Just get on base. And we've been able, to have a few challenges already, by both teams. But I'm just very shocked that they didn't challenge that pitch with Cal late. First pitch to Naylor and crushes it towards first base. Foul. 0-1 count. Naylor's 0 for 3. Got to find a way. Get on base, Naylor. Yeah, but again, we have to see a little bit more out of Cal before we rank him among all-time catchers. Obviously he's been able to do some amazing things. And a little blooper towards first. Throw to first, and that is out number 3. The Mariners are going to have one last chance in the bottom of the 9th, and hopefully we'll be only down a run, but we have to go to the top of the 9th first, and hopefully the Guardians don't score anymore. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 200 likes, 200 on the dono train, and 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. See where we're at on the sub count. I haven't checked since like the 2nd inning. Looks like we've gained quite a few. Wow, almost 30 since the last one. So where are we at now? 36. We were at 61. And now only 36 subs to go to 23,500. Shout out to the 40, 50, 60 people that have subbed to the channel tonight. And shout out to all the people that have donated and liked the stream as well. Appreciate you very, very much. And let's see who's up next here for the Guardians. Next up, 2 for 4 with 2 runs, an RBI and a K. Right fielder, Chase DeLauder. Batting second, 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a K. Third baseman, Jose Ramirez. And batting third, 1 for 4 with a K, DHing Kyle Manzardo. Shout out to Reflect. Shout out to TJ. Shout out to Vapor, to Bash, Talon, Bash again, Flying Monkey, Vapor, Vapor again, Talon again, Monkey Kung Fu, Flying Monk, Reflect, Vapor again, Talon again, Reflect again, HR, and Talon. Appreciate all of you. And Cooper Criswell coming in. Yeah, they're not going to bring Munoz in when we're down. First pitch to DeLauder in there for a strike. 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, hard hit ball. And that is gone. Unbelievable. Chase DeLauder with 2 home runs, just like Dominic Canzone. Unbelievable. You got to be kidding me. And that it's not going to be game, but Jesus. Chase DeLauder having himself a day. 6-4 Guardians. And again, if we're going to come back, that's the most that we can get down by. I mean, realistically, we're going to lose this game, more than likely, but again, if we get down by more than 2, forget about it. This is probably the maximum amount that we can be down by, where we might be able to tie it up if they actually bring in a pitcher that, shits the bed. But again, we've seen this situation before, and 9 times out of 10 we lose, but 1 time out of 10, sometimes magic happens. So you never know. But great job there by DeLauder. 6-4 Guardians. Brutal. Shows you the bullpen pitching not very good so far for Seattle in game number 1. 0-2 pitch. Low and away to Jose Ramirez. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Criswell to Ramirez. And I don't got a whole lot of faith in Cooper Criswell either. It's like if you got 10 guys in the pen, you would hope that you got more than 3 that you trust. But Ramirez strikes out, and that is 1 away. But again, we have seen some miracle comebacks, in 2025 with the Mariners when we've been down, 2, 3, 4 runs in the 9th and actually came back to tie and force extra innings and win in extras, or get to extras and lose, or to actually, win in the bottom of the 9th. But, it's going to be a real tough task if we're being honest. Next up is Kyle Manzardo. First pitch is high and away, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, gets the corner, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike from Criswell to Manzardo. One pitch, another ball there by Cooper Criswell. And obviously, Criswell had, some moments, obviously, but struggling here. 2-1 pitch, high and away. 3 balls and 1 strike to Kyle Manzardo. And nothing, hurts more, than you're actually playing well, and your starting pitcher does pretty good, and then the bullpen just, absolutely loses it for you. And that one goes foul, out of play. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Kyle Manzardo. But there's going to be games, where, we're up and we're going to finish the job, and then the bullpen is going to be great, but tonight, definitely a few pieces to really keep an eye on, and again, I had a fear that Gabe Spire was going to be one of the reasons that we potentially could lose if that came to be the case. And, he definitely needs to look himself in the mirror. And that's going to be a walk to Kyle Manzardo. Yeah, there's no way in hell the Mariners are going to be under 500. 0% chance. It's the first game of the year. First pitch in there to Bo Naylor. And that is a strike. Naylor 0 for 4 with a K, top of the 9th. 6-4 Guardian lead with a runner at first and 1 out. I mean, everyone's bullpen, has issues. It's not, just the Mariners. Everyone has got issues. You hope that you have a couple guys that are good. You definitely want, a good closer, and you hope that the guys that start off are good. But, every team in MLB has guys in the middle that struggle, and apparently we got exposed tonight. 0-1 pitch, high and inside with a sinker, 90 miles an hour by Cooper Criswell. 1 ball and 1 strike with a runner at first and 1 out. Guardians up 6-4 in the top of the ninth. Big swing and a miss by Bo Naylor. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Cooper Criswell. But again, I'm not surprised that Gabe kind of fucked up the game. Again, he fucked up in the WBC, got a strikeout, gave up a home run. 2 games later, he did it again. Did it in spring training, with a game before the regular season started. Broken bat. Throw to second. Double play to first. And got him. All right, nice double play there after the broken bat. Nice job, even though Cooper Criswell gave up the home run. But, Gabe Spire used to be a top 3 guy in the pen. But honestly, he might be the most, unreliable, at least at the moment. And we know Carlos Vargas is a little wild and, was probably the worst player, on the team in the pen and maybe overall. But I think I trust even Vargas more than I do Gabe Spire right now. And that's a crazy take, but unless we'll see what Vargas does. I mean, obviously when Vargas comes in at some point, he's going to be probably just as shitty as Spire, from time to time and whatnot. But, Gabe definitely was, one of the reasons why this game started to get out of hand. And he definitely has been, kind of on this weird, up and down roller coaster run. But after coming in, giving up 3 hits, 2 earned runs, only getting 1 K, his ERA is 18. Thanks a lot, Gabe. But it's not like Legomina and Criswell were that good as well. I mean, we had Gilbert, that was good. Jose Ferrer did good, but Spire, terrible. Legomina, not good. And Criswell, not good either. All right, Mariners, let's go to the bottom of the ninth, and we need a miracle, okay? And the chances of us scoring 3 and winning in the bottom of the ninth is 1%, maybe less than 1%. But we do have a chance possibly to at least tie it up and go to extra innings and see what happens. Let's see if we have the right batters that can do it. All right, in the bottom of the ninth, 1 for 3 with a K. In the 5-hole, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Batting second, 1 for 3 with a run, RBI, and a K. And who does have a solo dinger early in the game, Luke Raleigh. And batting third, 2 for 3 with 2 runs and 2 RBIs, Dominic Canzone. Canzone has 2 homers today. We do remember a few games where Dom can hit 2, 3, 4 home runs in a game. And we might need Dom to be a hero again and hit his 3rd home run if we're going to end up winning this game in the bottom of the ninth or to force extra innings. Captain in the building, what's good? Good to see you, my guy. But we have 162 games. It's a long season, right? So I mean, even if you get 90 wins, that's 72 losses. So again, not what we wanted, but we still have a chance. First pitch to Randy is a ball. 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch. Takes another ball high and away. 2 balls and no strikes from Cade Smith to Randy Arozarena. Captain with a tenner. Appreciate you. 2-0 pitch. Randy takes a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. If Randy can just get on with a walk or get hit by a pitch and not get injured, that might be the most beneficial thing here. 2-1 pitch. Takes another strike down the middle. Swing, Randy. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Jacob in the building. What's good? 2-2 pitch. Low and inside. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. And hopefully Randy will get the walk here. Come on, Randy. Smith on the mound. Randy in the box. 3-2 pitch. Randy hits it into center field. Should be a routine play, though. And that is 1 away. And at least the next 2 guys up have hit home runs. Next up is Luke Raleigh. On deck is Dominic Canzone. Luke Raleigh has 1 home run today. Dominic Canzone has 2. And again, not only is it the bullpen's fault, but again, we didn't get any production out of Cal, Julio, or Naylor. And again, it's hard to win games, like this, if you're not getting any production from guys like that, right? The best catcher in the game, the best center fielder in the game, and one of the better first basemen in the game in Josh Naylor. And there's going to be games where they play great and the others, end up shitting the bed, but it has to be a team effort. First pitch fouled off by Luke Raleigh, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch from Smith. Big swing and a miss by Luke. No balls and 2 strikes to Luke Raleigh. Come on, Luke. We need a miracle. Get on base. Even just like a little bloop single for Dominic Canzone to homer and tie this game up. 0-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss, and down goes Luke Raleigh, and that is 2 away. And now we're down to possibly our last out. But at least the guy that we have up, the Italian Stallion, he's got 2 home runs today. Can he make it number 3? And even if he hits a home run, we're still down a run. But at least, I want to see a little bit of fight in this team. But it also shows you how, baseball's fucking hard. Even if you're the best player in your position in the league, even Judge and Ohtani choke sometimes, and those guys are the 2 best players in the world. First pitch to Dominic Canzone in there for a strike, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike to Dominic Canzone. 2 solo homers by Dom, the Italian Stallion. 300 average, 11 home runs, and he's already got 2 today. Pacing for 20 to 30 this season. Probably closer to that 30 number. And that one is fouled out of play by Dominic Canzone. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. We'll be live tomorrow on Apple TV Plus, and that will be against the Guardians as well. One-two pitch, and a hard hit ball up the middle, but line drive to the second baseman, and that is out number 3. And that's the final. Brutal. We did so good with Logan Gilbert, besides giving up that home run early to DeLauder. You got, Donovan homering to, tie the game up. Canzone doing his thing with 2 homers. But again, the game got away from us kind of when my dog started to get sick. In the 7th inning, that's where, things started to get out of hand. We were tied at 3-3 in the 5th. But then Ramirez with that double to left, DeLauder and Rocchio scoring, making it 5-3. Luckily, Canzone gave us a little bit of hope with a solo dinger in the bottom of the 7th. But the bullpen not doing a good job, on top of 0 for 3 for Cal Raleigh, 0 for 4 for Julio, 0 for 4 for Josh Naylor, and that's unacceptable. And again, also 0 for 3 for Cole Young, 0 for 2 for Rivas. So if you really think about it, we did put up 4 runs. Gilbert and Ferrer did good, but you had 3 guys in the pen that shit the bed, Spire, Legomina, and Criswell. And then you had 5 guys out of 9 that didn't get a hit. So yeah, we had certain guys like Donovan was great, right? Randy ended up having 1 hit, but how much did Randy give up defensively? A few, right? Luke Raleigh with a homer, Dominic Canzone with 2 homers, but that's just how it goes sometimes. But I do believe in this team. It was a good game. GG to all the Guardian fans in the building. And again, we'll be able to get a little bit better, as the season moves forward. Tomorrow's game will be on Apple TV Plus, and I will be live. If you have T-Mobile, you can get Apple TV Plus, I think for $3. It used to be free. They give you Netflix and Hulu for free. But I will be live to call the game if, you don't have access. And, again, there's a long season. It's 162 games. And again, we will fight back and we will battle back. And let's give a quick shout out to the people that supported the channel today and the 50, 60 people that subbed to the channel. I appreciate you. Shout out to Reflect. Shout out to TJ. Shout out to Vapor. Shout out to Bash. Shout out to Talon. Shout out to Bash again. Flying Monkey, I see you. Vapor getting into the building. Vapor again, back to back. Talon, I see you. Monkey Kung Fu in the building, welcome back. Flying Monkey again. Reflect again. Vapor again. Talon again. Reflect, I see you. HR in the building. Talon, I see you again. And Captain getting off work a little bit late and showing some love and support. So hopefully Paisley will be better. And again, I apologize that I had to step away 2, 3, 4 times. She got sick early this morning and woke me up, at 5, 6 a.m. and she hasn't really been feeling the greatest. And I apologize for stepping away a few times. But again, she's family to me. She's like my daughter. So obviously that's always going to come first. But I love you guys. The two most important things in my life are my pup and this channel. I put a lot of time, energy, and love into my pup as well as this channel. Appreciate every single person that liked, sub, donated, commented, shared. Let's take a quick peek real quick to see how many more subs that we ended up gaining before the game ended here. We needed 36 to get to 23,500, and looks like we gained 4 more. So a nice run of like 50 plus subs, 40 to 50. Now we only need 32 to get to 23,500. And again, you're going to lose, more games, from, poor performances in the bullpen than anything, but again, it was a number of reasons why we lost. It was the bullpen as well as 5 guys out of 9 not being able to get a hit. And most importantly, Cal Raleigh, Julio, and Josh Naylor. But tomorrow is a new day, and we're going to be on Apple TV Plus 4K cameras, which will be great. And again, I do have a good feeling that we're going to be able to respond tomorrow, and we'll get onto the W column to be able to make up for this opening day loss. But shout out to the Guardians and their fan base, Tanner Bybee and everyone else. They did a fantastic job, and I'm ready for the challenge. And I love you guys very, very much. Appreciate everyone that liked, sub, donated, commented, shared. I really appreciate it. Hopefully my pup will be better tomorrow, and I look forward to calling the game tomorrow for you guys. And let me take just a quick peek. Tomorrow's game. All right, tomorrow's game will be at 6:40 Pacific on Apple TV Plus. So I will be live at 6:30, and we'll end up doing the introductions and going through all of that. So I look forward to seeing you guys on the Apple TV broadcast tomorrow at 6:40 Pacific. That's when first pitch will be, but I'll be online around 6:30. Love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very much. And I really appreciate all the love and support. It's going to be a fantastic, huge year for us here on the channel. And it's an honor to be able to represent the Seattle Mariners on YouTube as the #1 streamer for this team. So I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very much. I hope you guys have a good one. I know it stings if you're a Mariner fan a little bit, but we will be able to respond and bounce back tomorrow. Final score, Guardians 6, Mariners 4. And I got one question for you. Who talks sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Gang.